Hello, wonderful people. Welcome to Scion What Ifs, your story destination. We have an absolute treat for you today. What if Goku entered the Demon Slayer universe with full power? If you're enjoying these stories, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support keeps the stories coming. With that said, let the adventure begin. Chapter 1, Stranger from Beyond. The air crackled with energy as Goku soared through what should have been ordinary sky. 1 minute he'd been locked in battle with a mysterious opponent on the outskirts of Universe 7, and the next, caught in some kind of spatial distortion that pulled and stretched at his very molecules. What the? He managed to grunt before a blinding flash enveloped him. The sensation wasn't unlike instant transmission, except this time Goku definitely wasn't in control. Colors swirled and reality bent as he tumbled through whatever cosmic anomaly had caught him. Then came the resistance, like hitting atmosphere, followed by the unmistakable pull of gravity. Goku plummeted toward unfamiliar ground, a blazing comet of ki energy trailing behind him. He oriented himself mid-fall, regaining control just enough to direct his landing away from what looked like a small village below. "Here goes nothing," he shouted, bracing for impact. The Scion warrior crashed into a forested mountainside, the impact sending birds scattering for miles. Trees splintered and earth erupted in a massive shockwave that echoed through the valley. When the dust cleared, Goku stood in the center of a modest crater, brushing dirt from his orange GI. That was weird," he said to himself, scratching the back of his head. "Where'd I end up this time?" The air felt different, purer somehow, but with an underlying current of something wrong. Not evil exactly, but disturbed, like water with something foul stirring beneath the surface. Goku stretched his senses outward, searching for familiar energy signatures, but found none. No Vegeta, no Gohan, no Piccolo, nothing but unfamiliar human ki and something else he couldn't quite place. "Guess I better figure out where I am," he said, launching himself skyward. From his elevated vantage point, Goku surveyed the landscape. Mountains stretched in every direction, dotted with small villages and what looked like farmland. The architecture below wasn't like anything he'd seen in West City, it reminded him more of the remote areas where he trained as a boy with Grandpa Gohan. "This place feels old," he mused, descending toward the nearest village. But where exactly is this place? The village bustled with afternoon activity, women hanging laundry, men carrying tools, children running between small wooden houses. Their clothes looked strange to Goku, kimono-like garments and traditional Japanese attire that belonged in a historical film rather than present day. His appearance didn't exactly blend in either. The moment his boots touched the dirt path leading into the village, every head turned toward him. Conversations stopped mid-sentence. A child pointed. "Hey there." Goku called cheerfully, waving. "Sorry to drop in like this, but I'm a little lost. Could someone tell me where I am?" The villagers backed away, muttering among themselves. One older man with a deeply lined face stepped forward cautiously. "You're in Sajiri village, stranger," he said, eyeing Goku's unusual clothing. "Though I suspect that doesn't answer your question. This is the Taisho era, in the nation of Japan." He paused. "Your clothes, are you a foreigner?" "Taisho era?" Goku blinked. The words meant nothing to him. "Japan, huh? I've been there before, but it didn't look like this." Before the conversation could continue, a woman's scream pierced the air from the far side of the village. Goku's head snapped toward the sound, his senses immediately detecting a surge of that strange energy he'd noticed earlier, dark, hungry, and definitely not human. "Something's wrong," he said, all confusion temporarily forgotten. "Someone's in danger." Without waiting for a response, Goku launched himself toward the disturbance, covering the distance in seconds. He landed before a small house where a terrified woman cowered on the ground. Looming over her stood what Goku could only describe as a monster, humanoid in shape but with grotesquely distended limbs, bulging eyes, and teeth that belonged on no human face. "Dinner time," the creature gurgled, reaching for the woman with unnaturally long fingers. Hey ugly. Goku called. Pick on someone who can fight back. The creature whirled, its bloodshot eyes focusing on Goku with predatory intensity. More food, it hissed, abandoning the woman to lunge at this new prey. Goku sidestepped effortlessly, analyzing his opponent. This wasn't like any creature he'd encountered before, not a Frisia Force soldier, not an android, not any species he recognized. Its energy signature felt, corrupted somehow, like human ki that had been twisted into something else. What are you supposed to be? Goku asked, genuinely curious as he dodged another wild swing. I am the shadow that hunts the night, the creature snarled. I am demon, human. And you are meat. It attacked again, faster this time, much faster than an ordinary human could track. But to Goku, it might as well have been moving through molasses. He caught the demon's wrist mid-strike, feeling the unnatural strength behind it. Demon, huh? Never fought one of those before, Goku said. But you're threatening innocent people, and I can't let that slide. With a casual flick of his wrist, Goku sent the demon flying backward into a tree. The trunk splintered under the impact, but the creature recovered quickly, its body contorting in impossible ways as it regained its footing. You're strong, it growled, eyes narrowing. Your blood will make me stronger. The demon charged again, this time with blinding speed that would have impressed Goku if he hadn't spent decades battling galaxy-destroying opponents. He waited until the last moment, then drove his fist into the creature's midsection with restrained but precise force. The impact stopped the demon cold. It gagged, eyes bulging even further, then crumpled to its knees. Had enough? Goku asked. Because I'd rather not, the demon's head suddenly detached from its body in a spray of blood. Goku blinked in surprise as both parts crumbled away into dust before his eyes. Behind where the creature had knelt stood a young man with a sword, its blade gleaming in the late afternoon sun. He wore a black uniform with a distinctive checkered pattern on his haori, and a bamboo muzzle covered the lower half of the face of the young girl who stood behind him. What caught Goku's attention most, however, was the intense determination in the boy's eyes, and the nasty scar that marked his forehead. Are you hurt? The swordsman asked, though his eyes never left Goku. Me? Nah, that thing wasn't even trying hard, Goku replied with a grin. Thanks for the assist, though I had it under control. I'm Goku, by the way. The swordsman sheathed his blade in a smooth motion. I'm Tanjiro Kamado, he said. And this is my sister, Nezuko. He gestured to the muzzled girl, who regarded Goku with curious eyes. I've never seen anyone handle a demon with bare hands before. Is that what that was? A demon? Goku looked at the dust being scattered by the wind. Weird. Where I'm from, we don't have those. Tanjiro's expression shifted subtly, moving from cautious to curious. Where exactly are you from, Goku-san? Your clothes, your fighting style, they're unlike anything I've seen before. Before Goku could answer, the girl, Nezuko, made a muffled sound behind her muzzle. Her eyes were fixed on Goku with an intensity that seemed almost trance-like. Nezuko? Tanjiro turned to his sister with concern. Goku sensed it too, something was happening with the girl's energy. It fluctuated in a strange pattern, as if responding to his presence. Now that he focused on her, he realized her key signature shared similarities with the demon he'd just fought, but there was something profoundly different about it too, something that remained undeniably human. Your sister. Goku began carefully. She's got energy like that demon, but different. What's her story? Tanjiro stepped protectively in front of Nezuko, his hand moving back toward his sword hilt. How can you tell that? Who are you really? Goku raised his hands in a peaceful gesture. Hey, easy. I'm not a threat. I can sense ki, life energy. Everyone has it, but I've never felt anything like what you two have. Especially her. The standoff might have continued, but a commotion from the village interrupted them. The villagers had gathered at a distance, watching the interaction with fear and curiosity. The elder who had spoken to Goku earlier approached cautiously. "Kamado-san," he called to Tanjiro. This stranger appeared just before the demon attack. He moved faster than the eye could follow. Tanjiro's gaze remained fixed on Goku. "I saw him fight. He's no demon, they would have tried to eat him, not talk to him." His eyes narrowed. "But you're not an ordinary human either, are you?" Goku laughed, relaxing his posture. "Well, technically I'm a scion, but I was raised on Earth. Just not this Earth, I think. I'm pretty sure I fell through some kind of dimensional rift during my last fight." "Dimensional rift?" Tanjiro repeated, confusion evident on his face. "Yeah, like a hole between worlds." Goku made a circular motion with his hands. "One minute I'm fighting this weird energy being at the edge of my universe, next thing I know, I'm crashing into your mountain over there." The explanation seemed to confuse Tanjiro further, but before he could question it, Nezuko tugged at his sleeve. She made another muffled sound behind her muzzle, then pointed emphatically at the setting sun. "You're right," Tanjiro nodded. "We need to find shelter before dark." He turned back to Goku. "More demons will emerge after nightfall. We should continue this conversation somewhere safe." "Lead the way," Goku said cheerfully. "I've got nowhere to be, at least until I figure out how to get back home." The villagers offered them an abandoned storehouse at the edge of town. After ensuring that Nezuko was comfortably settled in a dark corner, Tanjiro built a small fire in the fire pit. Goku sat cross-legged across from him, his face illuminated by the dancing flames. "So in this world, demons hunt humans at night?" Goku asked, accepting a cup of tea from Tanjiro. "Yes. They cannot survive in sunlight, it burns them to ash." Tanjiro glanced toward where Nezuko rested. "My family was attacked by a demon named Muzan Kibutsuji. Everyone except Nezuko and me was killed. Nezuko was transformed, but somehow she resists the urge to devour humans. That's why she wears the muzzle." Goku asked. Tanjiro nodded. "A precaution. She hasn't tried to hurt a human since her transformation, but..." He trailed off. "I've joined the Demon Slayer Corps to find a cure for her, and to prevent other families from suffering our fate." Goku absorbed this information, his normally carefree expression turning serious. "That's a lot to take on by yourself, kid." "I'm not alone," Tanjiro replied firmly. "I have Nezuko. And there are other demon slayers fighting alongside me." He studied Goku's face in the firelight. "But I've told you my story. What about yours? You mentioned being a scion." Goku scratched the back of his head with a grin. "Yeah, it's a long story. Basically, I'm from a warrior race from another planet, but I was sent to Earth as a baby. I hit my head and forgot my mission to conquer the planet, and instead I was raised by an old martial arts master named Gohan." He launched into an abbreviated version of his life story, his training, the battles against increasingly powerful foes, his transformations, and his friends. Tanjiro listened with widening eyes, occasionally interrupting with questions about concepts like ki manipulation and Super Saiyan transformations. "So you're saying you can harness your life energy as a weapon?" Tanjiro asked, leaning forward with interest. "Not just as a weapon," Goku replied. "For flying, sensing others, healing, all kinds of stuff. Here, I'll show you something simple." Goku extended his palm and concentrated. A small sphere of glowing energy materialized above his hand, illuminating the storehouse with soft blue light. "This is basic ki manipulation. Anyone can learn it with the right training." From her corner, Nezuko made a soft sound, her eyes reflecting the ki sphere's light. She approached cautiously, drawn to the energy. "She likes it," Tanjiro observed with surprise. Goku watched as Nezuko reached toward the sphere with hesitant fingers. Ki is life energy in its purest form. Maybe she recognizes that. When Nezuko's fingertips touched the sphere, something unexpected happened. The key reacted to her touch, rippling like water. Nezuko jerked back with a startled sound, but didn't appear hurt. Instead, she looked fascinated. "That's weird," Goku said, dismissing the sphere. "Her energy actually influenced mine. I've never seen that happen before, not like that, anyway." Tanjiro was about to respond when a loud thump on the roof interrupted them. Both warriors tensed, Tanjiro's hand moving to his sword. The thumping continued, moving across the roof before a voice called down. "Hey! Manjiro! Are you in there?" Tanjiro sighed, his posture relaxing. "It's Inosuke," he explained to Goku. "One of the demon slayers I mentioned. And he never gets my name right." The roof suddenly splintered as a figure crashed through, landing in a crouch between them. The newcomer wore nothing but hakama pants and a wild boar's head mask. Muscular and agile, he straightened up and pointed dramatically at Tanjiro. "There you are. I tracked your scent for miles," the boar-headed boy declared. "Who's the weird-looking guy?" Before either could answer, another voice called from outside. "Inosuke. Normal people use the door, you know." The door slid open to reveal a third young man with blonde hair and a nervous expression. "Sorry about that, Tanjiro. You know how he gets when he's excited." The blonde trailed off as he noticed Goku. "Who's this?" "This is Son Goku," Tanjiro said. "Goku-san, these are my fellow demon slayers, Inosuke Hashira and Zenitsu Agatsuma." "Yo!" Goku greeted them with a casual wave. "Nice mask, by the way." Inosuke thumped his chest proudly. "It's not a mask. It's my head." "It's definitely a mask," Zenitsu muttered, then turned to Tanjiro. "We got word that strange energy was detected in this area. Is that why you're here too?" "Strange energy?" Tanjiro looked at Goku. "I was pursuing the demon that attacked this village, but..." "That might have been me," Goku admitted. "I sort of crash-landed nearby earlier today. Made quite an entrance." Zenitsu crept closer, studying Goku with suspicious eyes. "You don't feel like a demon, but you don't feel normal either. What are you?" "That's what I've been trying to figure out," Tanjiro said. "Goku-san says he's from another dimension, a warrior called a scion." "Another dimension?" Zenitsu screeched, jumping backward. "Like a ghost? Or a spirit? Or a..." "Calm down," Inosuke interrupted, poking Goku's arm with a finger. "He feels solid enough. If he's from another world, does that mean he's strong?" Goku grinned. "Want to find out?" "Yes." Inosuke immediately dropped into a fighting stance. "No." Zenitsu countered, grabbing Inosuke's arm. "We don't pick fights with interdimensional beings. Haven't you heard any folktales? That's how villages get destroyed." Tanjiro raised a hand for silence. "It's late, and we should rest. Tomorrow we can sort this out properly. Goku-san fought a demon with his bare hands today, I saw it myself. Whatever else he is, I don't think he's a threat." Zenitsu looked unconvinced but nodded reluctantly. Inosuke simply flopped onto the floor, apparently losing interest as quickly as he'd gained it. "Fine," Zenitsu sighed. "But if we all die in our sleep because you invited an alien into our shelter, I'm going to be very upset with you in the afterlife, Tanjiro." The night passed peacefully, though Goku noticed that neither Tanjiro nor his friends truly relaxed, each taking turns to remain vigilant while the others slept. For his part, Goku dozed lightly, his warrior's senses attuned to any potential threats. The strange energy he'd noticed earlier, what he now recognized as demonic presence, occasionally prickled at the edge of his awareness, but none ventured close to their shelter. Dawn broke with golden light streaming through the cracks in the storehouse walls. Goku stretched, his stomach rumbling loudly enough to wake the others. "Man, I'm starving," he declared. "Got any food around here?" Tanjiro, already awake and alert, smiled slightly. We have some provisions, but I'm not sure it'll be enough. You sound like you have quite an appetite. You have no idea, Goku laughed, patting his stomach. Fighting across dimensions works up a hunger. They shared what little food they had, rice balls and dried fish that Zenitsu had packed. As Goku suspected, it barely took the edge off his Saiyan appetite, but he accepted it gratefully. As they ate, Tanjiro explained more about the Demon Slayer Corps and their mission to defeat Muzan Kibutsuji, the progenitor of all demons. So this Muzan guy is basically the boss demon? Goku summarized between mouthfuls. He's more than that, Tanjiro said, his expression darkening. He's a monster who's lived for centuries, turning humans into demons and causing untold suffering. He's the reason my sister. He glanced at Nezuko, who remained in her box during daylight hours. Goku set down his rice ball, his expression unusually serious. Sounds like someone who needs taking down. In my world, I've faced plenty of tyrants who hurt innocent people. Never gets easier to see the damage they cause. You fight evil in your world? Zenitsu asked, sounding slightly less suspicious than before. When I have to, Goku shrugged. I mostly love fighting strong opponents, but yeah, can't stand bullies who hurt the weak. It's not right. Inosuke, who had removed his boar mask to eat, suddenly pointed his chopsticks at Goku. Prove how strong you are. Fight me right now. Inosuke, Tanjiro began, but Goku cut him off with a laugh. Sure, why not? A little sparring might help me get a feel for this world's fighting styles. He stood, brushing rice from his GI. Just remember, it's training, I don't want to hurt anyone. They moved outside the storehouse to a clearing at the edge of the forest. Curious villagers gathered at a distance to watch as Inosuke and Goku faced off. Don't hold back. Inosuke demanded, donning his boar mask once more. I'm the strongest one here. If you say so, Goku replied cheerfully, dropping into his fighting stance. Ready when you are. With a wild battle cry, Inosuke charged, drawing his serrated swords in a fluid motion. The blades whistled through the air as he launched into a whirlwind of strikes that would have overwhelmed any normal opponent. But Goku wasn't normal, not by any stretch of imagination. The Saiyan warrior dodged each blow with minimal movement, a small smile playing on his lips as he studied Inosuke's technique. The beast-breathing style was fascinating to watch, raw and primal, yet disciplined in its own chaotic way. You're pretty good. Goku commented as he swayed away from a particularly aggressive thrust. Those sword techniques are nothing like what we have back home. Stop dodging and fight back. Inosuke growled, increasing his speed. If you insist, Goku replied. In a motion too fast for most onlookers to track, Goku sidestepped Inosuke's next attack and gently flicked his finger against the boar mask. The impact sent Inosuke flying backwards several yards, tumbling across the ground before coming to a stop in a heap of limbs. A collective gasp rose from the watching villagers. Tanjiro's eyes widened, and Zenitsu's jaw practically hit the ground. Oops, Goku said, scratching the back of his head. Guess I overdid it a bit. To everyone's surprise, Inosuke leapt back to his feet, seemingly unfazed. That was amazing, he shouted, voice muffled by his mask. Do it again. Before Goku could respond, Zenitsu stepped between them. Are you trying to die, Inosuke? Didn't you see what just happened? He barely touched you. Exactly. Inosuke jabbed a finger toward Goku. He's the strongest opponent I've ever seen. Fighting him will make me stronger. Tanjiro approached, his expression thoughtful. Goku-san, you controlled that blow perfectly. You knew exactly how much force to use to knock Inosuke back without causing injury. Well, yeah, Goku nodded. Basic ki control. You have to learn it pretty early on, or you'll destroy everything around you when you power up. He glanced at the three young demon slayers. You guys have impressive techniques too, though. Those breathing styles you mentioned, they're kind of like key manipulation, but specialized. You could tell that just from watching Inosuke. Tanjiro asked, surprised. I've been fighting my whole life, Goku replied with a shrug. You learn to spot these things. He looked at Tanjiro curiously. You want to try next? I'd love to see this water breathing you mentioned. Before Tanjiro could answer, a messenger crow descended from the sky, landing on his shoulder with an urgent call. The young demon slayer listened intently as the crow delivered its message, his expression growing increasingly serious. We're being summoned, he finally said to Zenitsu and Inosuke. To headquarters. All available demon slayers. What? Why? Zenitsu asked, anxiety evident in his voice. The message didn't specify. But. Tanjiro looked at Goku. It mentioned an unusual presence that needs to be investigated. I think they might be talking about you, Goku-san. Me? Goku pointed at himself. Well, I guess that makes sense. I did make quite an entrance yesterday. The Hashira will want to meet you, Tanjiro explained. They're the pillars of the Demon Slayer Corps, our strongest warriors. Goku's face lit up with excitement. The strongest, huh? Now that sounds interesting. When do we leave? Immediately, Tanjiro replied. It's a day's journey if we hurry. Inosuke pumped his fist in the air. Let's go. I want to see the Hashira's faces when they meet the finger-flicking man. This is a terrible idea, Zenitsu moaned, but began gathering his things nonetheless. As they prepared to depart, Goku noticed Tanjiro carefully checking the box in which Nezuko traveled during daylight. The wooden box was specially designed to block out sunlight while allowing air circulation, an ingenious solution, Goku thought, though it seemed uncomfortable. Can't she just wear a hood or something? He asked, gesturing toward the box. Tanjiro shook his head. Direct sunlight would kill her instantly. This is the safest way for her to travel with me. Goku frowned thoughtfully. What if I carried her? I can move fast enough that the sunlight wouldn't have time to affect her. That's impossible, Zenitsu interjected. Even the fastest Hashira couldn't. I can show you, Goku offered. Watch. Before anyone could object, Goku placed 2 fingers against his forehead and vanished. The 3 demon slayers gaped at the spot where he'd been standing, only to jump in surprise when he reappeared seconds later several yards away. See? Instant transmission, Goku explained. I can move anywhere instantly, as long as I can sense an energy signature to lock onto. That's. Tanjiro seemed at a loss for words. How is that possible? Different dimension, remember? Goku grinned. But if you'd rather stick with the box, that's fine too. Just thought I'd offer. In the end, they compromised. Nezuko would travel in her box, but Goku would carry it, allowing them to move much faster than normal. With their gear packed and goodbyes said to the villagers, the unusual group set off toward the Demon Slayer headquarters. Goku could have covered the distance in seconds with instant transmission, but he matched pace with his new companions instead, using the journey to learn more about this strange world. Tanjiro proved to be an excellent guide, patiently explaining aspects of their society, from the historical era they inhabited to the hierarchical structure of the Demon Slayer Corps. By mid-afternoon, they had covered ground that would normally have taken a full day of hard travel. They paused at a stream to rest and refill their water containers. While Zenitsu and Inosuke bickered over the last rice ball, Tanjiro sat beside Goku on a large rock overlooking the water. Can I ask you something, Goku-san? Tanjiro began hesitantly. Sure. And just Goku is fine. All the san stuff feels too formal, Goku replied, splashing water on his face. Goku, then, Tanjiro nodded. If what you've told us is true, about your power, could you defeat Musen Kibutsuji? Could you end this centuries-long nightmare in an instant? Goku's usual carefree expression turned thoughtful. Honestly? I don't know. I haven't sensed this Musen's energy yet, so it's hard to say how strong he is. But if he's just absurdly strong by human standards. He trailed off, choosing his words carefully. The battles I've fought have been against beings who could destroy planets with a thought. So yeah, it's possible I could take him down quickly. Then why not do it? Tanjiro asked, his scarred face intense with emotion. Why not end all this suffering now? For one thing, I don't know where he is, Goku pointed out. Can't fight someone I can't find. And for another. He paused, uncharacteristically serious. In my experience, rushing into battles without understanding the enemy can backfire. What if killing Musen affects all demons in some way that harms Nezuko? What if there are consequences I don't understand yet? Tanjiro looked down at the stream, watching the water flow over smooth stones. You're right. I've been fighting demons for years now, and still, there's so much I don't know about them, about Musen, about what might save Nezuko. Tell you what, Goku said, his cheerful demeanor returning. First, let's meet these Hashira of yours. They might have information we need. Then we can figure out our next move together. As the sun began to set, they resumed their journey, picking up pace to reach shelter before nightfall. Goku noticed a subtle shift in the atmosphere as darkness approached, a heaviness in the air, as if the world itself braced for the emergence of demons. They had just entered a mountain pass when Goku sensed it, a malevolent energy approaching rapidly from multiple directions. We've got company, he announced, setting down Nezuko's box carefully. Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke immediately tensed, hands moving to their sword hilts. Tanjiro closed his eyes briefly, inhaling deeply through his nose. 5, no, 6 demons, he confirmed. Surrounding us. 6. Zenitsu whimpered. That's too many at once. Speak for yourself. Inosuke declared, drawing both swords. More demons means more heads to cut. The first demon lunged from the shadows above, a spider-like creature with multiple limbs and glowing red eyes. Tanjiro intercepted it with a fluid motion, his water-breathing technique manifesting as visible currents around his blade as he sliced through the demon's neck. Another demon burst from the ground beneath Zenitsu's feet. Despite his earlier fear, the blonde swordsman's demeanor changed instantly. With closed eyes and lightning crackling around his form, he executed a blindingly fast thunder-breathing technique that bisected the emerging demon before it could fully attack. Inosuke charged headlong at 2 more demons emerging from the trees, his unorthodox dual-wielding beast-breathing style creating a whirlwind of cutting edges that overwhelmed his opponents. Goku observed their techniques with fascination, hanging back to watch them work as a team. Their breathing styles were unlike anything he'd seen before, not quite ki manipulation, but something adjacent to it, focusing bodily energy in specialized ways. The 5th demon, larger than the others, crashed through the undergrowth directly toward Nezuko's box. Goku moved then, appearing between the threat and the box in an instant. That's far enough, he said calmly. The demon, a hulking humanoid with tusks protruding from a misshapen jaw, skidded to a halt. It sniffed the air, its bloodshot eyes narrowing. You smell. Wrong, it growled. Not human, not demon. What are you? I get that a lot lately, Goku replied with a half-smile. Want to find out? The demon roared and charged. Goku waited until the last moment, then casually extended one finger. The demon impaled itself on Goku's outstretched digit, the force of its charge driving it through its own body. It looked down in shock at the hole in its chest, then at Goku's unimpressed expression. Is that it? Goku asked. I was hoping for more of a challenge. The demon opened its mouth to respond, but never got the chance. Tanjiro appeared behind it in a flash, his blade severing its head in one clean stroke. The body crumbled to dust, leaving only Goku's extended finger pointing at empty air. You need to behead them, Tanjiro explained, breathing heavily from his exertions. It's the only way to kill demons permanently. Good to know, Goku nodded. Where's the sixth one? As if in answer, a chilling laugh echoed through the mountain pass. Unlike the feral growls of the previous demons, this voice carried intelligence and malice in equal measure. My, the voice called from the darkness. What an interesting group of travelers. 5 demons sent to their deaths, and for what? To test your capabilities. A figure emerged from the shadows, humanoid but with pale, almost translucent skin and eyes like polished silver. Consider me impressed. Unlike the others, this demon wore fine clothing, a Western-style suit that seemed at odds with their rural surroundings. It moved with practiced grace, more like a nobleman than a predator. You're different from the others, Tanjiro observed, shifting into a defensive stance. Perceptive, the demon replied with a mocking bow. I am Enmu, of the 12 Kazuki, the 12 demon moons. Lord Muzen's chosen elite. His silver eyes fixed on Goku. And you, stranger, are the reason for my visit tonight. Me? Goku asked, pointing at himself. What did I do? Your arrival caused quite a disturbance, Enmu explained with a thin smile. A power that neither human nor demon, crashing into our world like a falling star. Lord Muzen was curious. Tanjiro stepped forward. You work directly for Muzen. I serve Lord Muzen faithfully, Enmu confirmed, his gaze never leaving Goku. And he wished for a closer look at this anomaly. He gestured to the dust that had been the other demons. Those were merely to assess your companion's abilities. You, however. His smile widened unnaturally. You require a more personal touch. Before anyone could react, the demon's form seemed to liquefy, streaming toward Goku like living mercury. Tanjiro shouted a warning, but Goku remained calm, watching the approaching threat with curiosity rather than alarm. As the liquefied demon enveloped him, Goku felt the strange energy attempting to penetrate his consciousness, probing, searching, trying to find a way into his mind. Interesting technique, Goku commented aloud, as if merely observing a novel fighting style. You're trying to get into my head, right? Inside the mercury-like cocoon, Enmu's voice echoed with growing frustration. Why can't I enter? Your mind should be open to me. Sorry, but I've faced way worse mind tricks than this, Goku replied. Guys like Babidi tried to control my mind with actual magic. This is honestly pretty weak in comparison. With a casual flex of his ki, Goku dispelled the demonic energy surrounding him, sending Enmu's form splattering backward. The demon reformed several yards away, his elegant appearance now disheveled, silver eyes wide with shock. Impossible, Enmu hissed. No human can resist my blood demon art. I told you before, I'm not human, Goku reminded him cheerfully. I'm a scion. And you're starting to bore me. For the first time, fear flashed across Enmu's face. He backed away, his form beginning to dissolve into mist. Lord Muzen must know of this, he muttered. This changes everything. Hey, wait. Goku called, but the demon had already vanished into the darkness, his presence fading rapidly from even Goku's enhanced senses. He's running away, Inosuke growled, sheathing his swords with obvious disappointment. Let him go, Tanjiro said, placing a restraining hand on Inosuke's shoulder. If he's truly one of the 12 Kazuki, we're lucky to have survived the encounter. 12 Kazuki? Goku repeated. Are they the strongest demons under this Muzen guy? Yes, Tanjiro confirmed. They're ranked by strength, 6 lower moons and 6 upper moons. That was Enmu, lower moon 1. And he ran away from you, Zenitsu said, staring at Goku with new respect. He was terrified. Goku shrugged. His technique was interesting, but not very effective against someone with key training. I wonder what the upper moons are like, though, if they're actually strong. Strong enough to kill Hashira, Tanjiro said gravely. The most powerful demon slayers we have. Then we'd better get to your headquarters soon, Goku replied, picking up Nezuko's box once more. Sounds like this Muzan person is already taking an interest in me, which means we don't have much time before he makes another move. They pushed on through the night, traveling swiftly through mountain terrain that would have been treacherous for normal humans. By dawn, they had reached the outer perimeter of the Demon Slayer headquarters, a hidden compound nestled deep within the mountains, protected by both natural barriers and human sentries. At the main gate, they were met by a stern-faced man in the standard Demon Slayer uniform, who regarded Goku with unconcealed suspicion. "Kamado Tanjiro," the guard acknowledged. "We received word of your approach. The Hashira are assembled and waiting." His eyes narrowed as they fixed on Goku. "This is the anomaly." "This is Son Goku," Tanjiro corrected firmly. "He saved villagers from a demon attack and helped us fend off Enmu of the 12 Kazuki last night." The guard's expression betrayed no emotion, but he stepped aside to allow them passage. "Follow me. You're expected in the main hall immediately." As they walked through the compound, Goku took in his surroundings with interest. The architecture reminded him of the temples he'd visited during his training journeys as a youth, traditional Japanese buildings arranged around courtyard training areas where young demon slayers practiced their sword techniques. "This place is pretty cool," Goku commented, earning several curious glances from passing demon slayers. "Reminds me of the martial arts temples back home, but with more swords and fewer energy blasts." "Energy blasts," the guard repeated, glancing back with barely concealed skepticism. "Yeah, you know," Goku held up his hand and formed a tiny ki ball above his palm, just enough to demonstrate without causing alarm. "Basic stuff." The guard stopped walking, his hand instinctively moving to his sword hilt. Around them, several demon slayers training in the courtyard also froze, staring at the glowing orb floating above Goku's hand. "It's okay," Tanjiro quickly assured them. "It's not demonic energy. It's something else entirely." "We should continue," the guard said stiffly, though his posture remained tense. The Hashira are not known for their patience. They were led to an imposing building at the center of the compound. Inside, a large hall opened before them, illuminated by lanterns that cast flickering shadows across tatami floors. At the far end of the hall, 9 figures knelt in a semicircle, each radiating a presence that spoke of hard-won battle experience and rigorous training. Standing before them was a diminutive old man with a wooden staff and a severely scarred face. Despite his unimposing stature, Goku immediately sensed that this was someone of significant authority. "Approach," the old man commanded, his voice surprisingly strong for his frail appearance. Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke immediately dropped to one knee in respect. Goku, unfamiliar with the protocol, simply walked forward with his usual casual stride, stopping a respectful distance from the assembled Hashira. "Hey there," he greeted them cheerfully. "I'm Son Goku. You guys must be the Hashira I've heard about." A shocked silence fell over the hall, broken only by Zenitsu's horrified whisper, "We're all going to die." One of the Hashira, a tall man with spiky hair and a wild expression, burst into laughter. "I like this guy already. No fear at all." "Silence, Shinazugawa," the old man ordered, though there was no real heat in his reprimand. He turned his penetrating gaze to Goku. "I am Kagaya Abuyashiki, master of the Demon Slayer Corps. These are the Hashira, our finest warriors." He gestured to each in turn, introducing them by their breathing style designation: Jyomi Himejima the Stone Hashira, Sanemi Shinazugawa the Wind Hashira, Kaijuro Rengoku the Flame Hashira, Machiro Takedo the Mist Hashira, Jutomioka the Water Hashira, Mitsuri Kanroji the Love Hashira, Abanai Iguro the Serpent Hashira, Shinobu Kocho the Insect Hashira, and Tengen Yuzui the Sound Hashira. Each Hashira regarded Goku with varying degrees of curiosity, suspicion, or in Sanemi's case, barely contained excitement at the prospect of a powerful new challenger. "I've been told you claim to come from another world," Kagaya continued, his blind eyes somehow seeming to see straight through Goku. "And that you possess abilities beyond those of humans or demons." "That's right," Goku confirmed. "I crashed here yesterday during a battle in my own dimension. Still not sure exactly how it happened, but here I am. Here you are indeed, Kagaya nodded. And your arrival has already drawn the attention of the 12 Kazuki, according to Tanjiro's crow. Yeah, some demon named Enmu showed up last night, Goku said. Tried to get inside my head with some weird technique, but it didn't work. He ran off to report back to someone called Muzan. At the mention of Muzan's name, a tangible tension filled the room. Several Hashira straightened, their hands moving instinctively toward their weapons. If Muzan Kibutsuji is taking personal interest in your arrival, Kagaya said gravely, then we face a critical juncture. He rarely involves himself directly unless he perceives either great threat or great opportunity. Which does he see in Goku-san, I wonder, mused Kyojuro Rengoku, the flame Hashira, his gold and red eyes studying Goku intently. Perhaps a demonstration of these alleged abilities would clarify matters, suggested Abanai Iguro, the serpent Hashira, his heterochromatic eyes narrowed with suspicion. Excellent idea, boomed Tengen Yuzui, the flamboyant sound Hashira. Let's see if he lives up to the hype in a flamboyant fashion. Kagaya raised a hand for silence. Before we proceed with any demonstrations, there is another matter. His blind gaze somehow found Tanjiro. Kamado Tanjiro, I notice your sister's presence among us. This is highly irregular. Tanjiro tensed, clearly prepared to defend Nezuko's presence. Before he could speak, however, Goku stepped forward. Nezuko's with me, he said simply. I'm keeping an eye on her. She's not dangerous, at least, not to humans. You presume much, stranger, Jutomioka, the water Hashira, spoke for the first time, his cold eyes assessing Goku. That demon may wear the face of Kamado's sister, but she remains a demon nonetheless. Yeah, about that, Goku scratched the back of his head. I've been wondering, her energy is different from other demons I've sensed. There's still something human about it. A thoughtful expression crossed Kagaya's face. You can sense the difference. Fascinating. He seemed to come to a decision. Very well. Kamado Tanjiro's sister may remain with us for now, under close observation. As for you, son Goku, I believe a demonstration is indeed in order. He turned toward the assembled Hashira. Who wishes to test our visitor's capabilities? Me. Sanemi Shinazugawa, the wind Hashira, practically shouted, leaping to his feet with barely contained bloodlust. Always so eager, sighed Shinobu Kocho, the insect Hashira, though her perpetual smile never wavered. Perhaps a less aggressive approach might be advisable. I will test him, rumbled Gyomii Himejima, the stone Hashira, rising to his imposing height. The blind giant dwarfed everyone in the room, his prayer beads clicking softly as he moved forward. Goku's face lit up with excitement. Awesome. You feel pretty strong. Kagaya nodded in approval. Himejima is our strongest Hashira. If anyone can properly gauge your abilities, it is he. He gestured toward the door. There is a training ground behind this hall specifically designed for Hashira-level combat. You may conduct your demonstration there. The assembled group moved outside to a large, stone-paved area surrounded by reinforced wooden barriers. Clearly, this space had been designed to withstand significant damage. The scars of previous training sessions were visible in the cracked stones and splintered reinforcements. Gyomii took position at one end of the field, unwrapping the massive iron ball and axe connected by chains that served as his unique weapon. Despite his blindness, his movements were precise and deliberate, his scarred face serene in its concentration. I must warn you, the giant said softly, his deep voice carrying across the field, I cannot control my strength as precisely as some of my colleagues. If you are not as powerful as you claim, you may be injured. Goku grinned, dropping into his fighting stance. Don't worry about me. Just show me what you've got. Around the perimeter of the training ground, the other Hashira and demon slayers gathered to watch. Tanjiro stood with Nezuko's box beside him, his expression torn between concern and curiosity. Begin when ready, Kagaya announced, having been led to a viewing platform at the edge of the field. Gyomii didn't immediately attack. Instead, he began a low chant, his prayer beads clacking together as his breathing deepened and stabilized. The air around him seemed to shimmer with intensity as he activated his stone breathing technique. Goku watched with fascination, sensing the buildup of energy, not quite ki, but something adjacent to it. "That's interesting," he commented. "You're focusing your life energy through your breathing pattern. We do something similar with ki control, but this is more structured." Without warning, Gyomii launched his attack. The iron ball shot forward with devastating speed, the chain extending to its full length as it hurtled toward Goku's position. The stone Hashira followed immediately behind his weapon, his massive form moving with surprising agility for someone of his size. To the watching demon slayers, what happened next seemed impossible. Goku didn't dodge or block, he simply raised one hand and caught the iron ball mid-flight, stopping its momentum instantly. The impact should have shattered his arm, instead, he held the weapon casually, as if it weighed nothing. "Nice technique," Goku called out cheerfully. "The chain gives you range and flexibility." Gyomii didn't pause, immediately changing tactics. He yanked the chain sharply, intending to pull Goku off balance, while simultaneously swinging his axe in a wide arc toward Goku's flank. Instead of resisting the pull, Goku allowed himself to be drawn forward, but at a speed entirely of his own choosing. He released the iron ball and somersaulted over Gyomii's head, landing lightly behind the stone Hashira before the giant could complete his axe swing. "You're really good," Goku observed. "Your awareness is amazing, even without sight. You remind me of my old master, Mutant Roshi." Gyomii whirled, his weapon chain reconfiguring instantly to accommodate the change in position. "You move unlike any human or demon I have encountered," he noted, his tone more curious than frustrated. "Should I show you some of my techniques now?" Goku asked, bouncing lightly on his toes with barely contained excitement. Without waiting for a response, Goku's demeanor shifted. The casual, almost playful attitude vanished, replaced by focused intensity. His stance widened, fists clenched at his sides. "This is my normal state," he explained. "But I can increase my power level by transforming." What happened next left the assembled demon slayers speechless. With a short, controlled shout, Goku's black hair stood on end, turning golden as an aura of brilliant energy erupted around him. The ground beneath his feet cracked, small stones rising to float in the swirling energy field that surrounded his body. "This is what we call a Super Saiyan," Goku explained, his voice slightly deeper, green eyes replacing his usual black ones. "It multiplies my base power many times over." The sheer pressure of energy emanating from Goku's transformed state pushed against everyone present like a physical force. Several of the watching demon slayers took involuntary steps backward. Even the Hashira tensed, hands moving to weapon hilts by instinct. "Remarkable," Kagaya murmured, seemingly unaffected by the display. "I sense no malice in this power, despite its intensity." Gyomii had frozen in place, his blind eyes wide with shock. "This power," he whispered. "It is beyond anything I have felt before. Want me to show you more?" Goku asked, a hint of his usual cheerfulness returning despite the transformed state. "I've got several levels beyond this one." "That won't be necessary," Kagaya interjected smoothly. "I believe we have seen enough to confirm your claims, Son Goku." With a small exhale, Goku powered down, his hair returning to its normal black and the golden aura dissipating. The pressure that had filled the training ground vanished, leaving a stunned silence in its wake. "So," Goku said, returning to his casual demeanor as if nothing extraordinary had happened, "what do you think?" "Pretty cool, huh?" Sanemi Shinazugawa was the first to break the silence, barking out a laugh that held equal parts disbelief and excitement. What was that?" "That was a fraction of his true power," Tanjiro answered quietly, drawing surprised looks from those nearby. "Isn't that right, Goku?" Goku nodded. Super Saiyan is just the first transformation. I can go way beyond that if needed, but... He glanced around at the training ground and the wooden structures nearby. I'd probably destroy this whole mountain if I went all out. Destroy the... Zenitsu squeaked, going pale. The entire mountain? Yeah, probably, Goku confirmed casually. When I fight at full power, it tends to reshape the landscape a bit. That's why I try to be careful in populated areas. Kagaya stepped forward, guided by one of his attendants. Son Goku, I believe fate has brought you to our world for a purpose. The timing of your arrival, as we face an increasingly bold Musen Kibutsuji, cannot be coincidence. You think I'm supposed to help you fight this Musen guy? Goku asked. Perhaps, Kagaya nodded. Or perhaps your presence will change the course of our conflict in ways we cannot yet foresee. Either way, I would formally request your assistance in our battle against the demons who plague this land. Goku considered this for a moment, then broke into a wide grin. Sure. I'm stuck here anyway until I figure out how to get back home. Might as well help out while I'm here. A collective sigh of relief seemed to pass through the assembled demon slayers. Even most of the Hashira appeared to relax slightly, though a few, particularly Abanai Iguro and Jutomioka, maintained their guarded expressions. Then it is settled, Kagaya declared. Son Goku will join us as an ally in our fight against Musen Kibutsuji and his demons. He turned toward Tanjiro and his companions. Kamado Tanjiro, you and your team will continue to work with Goku-san, as you have already established a rapport. Yes, Master. Tanjiro bowed deeply. However, Kagaya continued, raising one thin hand, given the interest Musen has already shown in our new ally, I believe additional support is warranted. He turned his blind gaze toward the flame Hashira. Kaijuro Rengoku, you will accompany them. The flamboyant swordsman with flame-colored hair stepped forward, eyes burning with enthusiasm. It would be my honor, Master. I shall guard our new ally with my life. He turned to Goku with a wide, sincere smile. Though it seems you hardly need protection. The more the merrier. Goku replied cheerfully. I'm always happy to fight alongside strong warriors. As the formal meeting concluded and the Hashira dispersed to their various duties, Kaijuro approached Goku with unbridled excitement. Son Goku, the flame Hashira declared, his voice carrying across the courtyard. I have so many questions about your techniques. This ki you mentioned, is it similar to our total concentration breathing? Can it be taught? The applications for demon slaying could be revolutionary. Sure, I can teach you some basics, Goku offered. Anyone can learn to use ki with the right training. It might take some time, though. Splendid. Kaijuro boomed, slapping Goku on the back with enough force to stagger an ordinary person. We shall begin immediately. But first, his expression suddenly turned serious. You must be famished after your demonstration. Let us feast. At the mention of food, Goku's face lit up like a child's. Now you're talking. I'm starving. What followed was a spectacle that would be discussed among the demon slayers for years to come. In the communal dining hall, Goku proceeded to consume what would normally feed an entire squad of demon slayers, bowl after bowl of rice, platters of meat, vegetables by the heaping serving, all disappearing at a pace that defied belief. Is this normal for him? Shinobu Kocho asked Tanjiro, her perpetual smile showing a rare crack of genuine surprise. I think so, Tanjiro nodded, watching with a mixture of awe and concern. He mentioned that his physiology requires more energy than humans. More energy is an understatement, Zenitsu muttered. He's eating like the food might run away if he slows down. Across the table, Kaijuro matched Goku's enthusiasm if not his pace, his boisterous laughter filling the hall as they shared the meal. Magnificent, the flame Hashira declared. A warrior with an appetite to match his strength. This is how it should be. As night fell, Goku was shown to quarters prepared for him in the Hashira training grounds, a simple but comfortable room that opened onto a private garden. As he settled onto the futon, staring up at the unfamiliar ceiling, he found himself wondering about his friends and family back home. Were they searching for him? Had time even passed there, or did dimensional travel work differently? His thoughts were interrupted by a soft knock at the sliding door. "Come in," Goku called, sitting up. The door slid open to reveal Tanjiro, who bowed slightly before entering. "I hope I'm not disturbing you, Goku." "Not at all," Goku replied with a smile. "Just thinking about home." Tanjiro knelt on the tatami across from Goku, his expression serious in the lamplight. "I wanted to thank you properly. For helping us against the demons, for defending Nezuko, for agreeing to join our fight." "Hey, no need for thanks," Goku waved him off. "It's what I do. Never could stand by when innocent people are being hurt." "Still," Tanjiro insisted, "your power could change everything. For the first time since I joined the Demon Slayer Corps, I feel like we might actually defeat Muzan Kibutsuji once and for all." He hesitated. "And maybe find a way to turn Nezuko human again." Goku's expression softened. "Your sister means a lot to you, huh?" "I get that. I'd do anything for my family too." "She's all I have left," Tanjiro said simply. "And after what happened yesterday, when your energy seemed to resonate with hers, I wondered if maybe your power might help her somehow." "It's possible," Goku nodded thoughtfully. "Ki is life energy in its purest form. If her humanity is still in there somewhere, maybe it could strengthen that part of her." He grinned suddenly. "Want to try something? Now?" Tanjiro asked, surprised. "Why not? Better than lying here thinking about dimensional physics I don't understand," Goku laughed, getting to his feet. "Where's Nezuko now?" "In our quarters, in her box," Tanjiro replied, standing as well. "It's after dark, so she's awake." They made their way quietly through the sleeping compound to the quarters assigned to Tanjiro's team. Inside, Nezuko had emerged from her box and sat quietly in a corner, her wide eyes reflecting the moonlight that streamed through a small window. "Hey there," Goku greeted her softly. "Remember me?" Nezuko's eyes focused on him, recognition evident in her gaze. She made a muffled sound behind her bamboo muzzle and tilted her head curiously. "I want to try something," Goku explained, kneeling before her. "Nothing dangerous, just an energy technique. Might help strengthen your human side. That okay with you?" To Tanjiro's surprise, Nezuko nodded, her large eyes fixed intently on Goku. "Great. This won't hurt a bit," Goku assured her. He extended both hands, palms up. "Put your hands on mine." After a moment's hesitation, Nezuko placed her small hands atop Goku's outstretched palms. Goku closed his eyes in concentration, and a soft, blue-white glow began to emanate from where their hands touched. "I'm sharing some of my ki with her," Goku explained to Tanjiro without opening his eyes. "Pure life energy, the kind that comes from the center of living beings. If there's humanity left in her, this might help nourish it." Tanjiro watched in fascination as the gentle glow spread up Nezuko's arms, eventually enveloping her entire body in a soft luminescence. Her eyes widened, then gradually softened, the demonic red glow diminishing slightly as the blue-white energy pulsed through her. For a moment, just a moment, Tanjiro thought he saw his human sister looking back at him through those eyes. Then the glow faded, and Goku opened his eyes, looking slightly drained but satisfied. "There," he said. "How do you feel?" Nezuko blinked several times, then reached up and did something that made Tanjiro's breath catch in his throat. She removed her own muzzle. It was a small action, one she'd performed before, but something about the deliberate care with which she did it now seemed different. "Nezuko?" Tanjiro whispered, hope evident in his voice. She turned to her brother, and for the first time in years, formed a word with her mouth. Her voice was rusty from disuse, barely audible, but unmistakable. Jiro. Tears immediately welled in Tanjiro's eyes. He fell to his knees beside his sister, gathering her hands in his. You spoke. Nezuko, you spoke. Goku sat back, watching the siblings with a warm smile. Well, that's a good sign, he said. The ki infusion must have strengthened her human consciousness, at least temporarily. Can it be permanent? Tanjiro asked, hope blazing in his eyes. Can we cure her? I don't know, Goku admitted. This is all new territory for me too. But it's a start, right? We can try more sessions, see how she responds. Nezuko looked between them, her eyes clearer than they had been in years, though the demonic characteristics, the sharpened teeth, the altered eye color, remained. She touched her throat, as if surprised by her own voice, then smiled shyly at Goku. Thank you, she managed, the words halting but distinct. You're welcome, Goku replied with a broad grin. See? Progress already. As they sat together in the moonlit room, Goku felt something he hadn't expected when he'd crashed into this strange world, a sense of purpose. Maybe there was a reason he'd ended up here after all. Whether it was to help defeat Muzan Kibutsuji or to help save one demonic girl's humanity, he couldn't yet say. But either way, a new adventure had begun. Outside in the darkness, unseen by those within the compound, a pale figure observed from the distant tree line. Enmu, Lower Moon 1, had returned, not to attack, but to watch and gather intelligence for his master. What he had witnessed tonight would soon reach Muzan Kibutsuji's ears, setting in motion events that would forever alter the course of the Demon Slayer world. But for now, in this quiet moment of connection and newfound hope, such dangers seemed distant. Goku had found allies in this strange world, and perhaps they had found in him the key to victory they had sought for generations. Chapter 2, Blood and Ki. Dawn broke over Demon Slayer headquarters, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson. Goku was already awake, sitting cross-legged in the garden outside his quarters, eyes closed in meditation. The night's discovery with Nezuko had energized him. If Ki could help restore her humanity, even temporarily, what other possibilities might exist in this world? A polite cough interrupted his thoughts. Goku opened his eyes to find Kyojuro Rengoku standing at the garden's edge, his flame-colored hair practically glowing in the morning light. Good morning, Son Goku, the flame Hashira bellowed enthusiastically. I see you're an early riser like myself. Excellent habit. Goku grinned, hopping to his feet with effortless agility. Morning. Just doing some key alignment. Helps keep me centered, especially in an unfamiliar place. Fascinating. Kyojuro's eyes practically sparkled with interest. This ki you speak of, I'm burning to learn more. But first, he clapped his hands together, breakfast awaits. A warrior needs fuel. The mention of food immediately captured Goku's full attention. Lead the way. I'm starving. The dining hall was already bustling with activity when they arrived. Demon slayers of various ranks gathered around low tables, eating quickly before their daily training. Conversations hushed momentarily as Goku entered alongside Kyojuro, curious eyes following the strange visitor who had demonstrated such incredible power the previous day. Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke were already seated at a table near the corner. Zenitsu waved them over, though his expression suggested he was still processing yesterday's revelations. Did you sleep well, Goku-san? Tanjiro asked as they joined the group. His eyes held new hope after the previous night's breakthrough with Nezuko. Like a rock. Goku replied cheerfully, eyeing the substantial breakfast spread with undisguised enthusiasm. This looks amazing. Without further ceremony, he began eating with his characteristic vigor, much to the continued amazement of those watching. Kyojuro matched his enthusiasm if not his pace, declaring each dish umai, with thunderous appreciation. So what's the plan today? Goku asked between mouthfuls. More demon hunting. Training. I'd love to learn more about those breathing styles you guys use. Actually, Tanjiro began, Master Ubuyashiki has requested an audience with you this morning. A private meeting. The master rarely meets individually with anyone outside the Hashira, Kaijuro explained, suddenly serious. This is a great honor, Goku-san. Wonder what he wants to talk about, Goku mused, reaching for his fifth bowl of rice. He seemed like an interesting guy. Can't sense much physical strength from him, but there's something about his presence that feels important. Master Ubuyashiki carries the weight of centuries of struggle against Muzan, Tanjiro said quietly. His family has led the Demon Slayer Corps for generations. His insight is unparalleled. Kaijuro added with characteristic enthusiasm. If anyone can help determine your purpose in our world, it is he. As they finished breakfast, a young girl in a butterfly-patterned kimono approached their table and bowed deeply. Son Goku, she said formally, I am Kaneo Tsuyuri, Tsuguko of the Butterfly Estate. I've been sent to escort you to Master Ubuyashiki's residence when you're ready. That's me, Goku said, standing and patting his stomach contentedly. Lead the way. Kaneo nodded, her expression remaining carefully neutral as she turned toward the exit. Goku followed, waving casually to his companions. See you guys later. Save some training for me. As they walked through the compound, Goku noticed the measured distance Kaneo kept between them, not fearful exactly, but cautious, like someone approaching an unknown animal. So you're a Tsuguko? Goku asked, trying to break the ice. What's that mean? A Tsuguko is a candidate to become a Hashira, Kaneo explained, her voice soft but precise. We train directly under current Hashira to develop our skills. Cool. So you're like an apprentice to one of those super strong swordspeople I met yesterday? I serve under Lady Shinobu Kocho, the insect Hashira, Kaneo confirmed, a hint of pride entering her voice. The one with the permanent smile? Goku recalled. She seemed nice, but I get the feeling she's tougher than she looks. For the first time, a ghost of a smile touched Kaneo's lips. Your observation is accurate. They continued in silence for several minutes, leaving the main compound behind and following a winding path up into the forested hillside. Eventually, they reached a secluded estate surrounded by flowering plum trees. Guards stationed at the entrance bowed to Kaneo and regarded Goku with careful neutrality. The master awaits you in the inner garden, Kaneo said, gesturing toward the main building. I'll wait here for your return. Goku thanked her and proceeded through the elegant wooden structure, guided by silent attendants until he reached a sunlit garden at the center of the compound. Kagaya Ubuyashiki sat beneath a blooming cherry tree, his blind eyes closed peacefully as if in meditation. Despite his physical frailty, his presence filled the space with quiet authority. Son Goku, Kagaya said without opening his eyes, thank you for coming. Please, sit with me. Goku settled cross-legged on the grass across from the master, immediately comfortable in the informal setting. Nice place you've got here. Peaceful. It serves its purpose, Kagaya replied with a gentle smile. I find tranquility essential for clear thinking, especially in these troubled times. He opened his eyes, the milky blindness somehow not diminishing their penetrating quality. You've caused quite a stir among my Hashira. Yeah, I tend to have that effect on people, Goku laughed, rubbing the back of his head. Sorry about that. No apology necessary. In fact, I believe your arrival may be providential. Kagaya tilted his head slightly. Tell me, son Goku, do you believe in fate? Fate? Goku considered the question seriously. I don't know about fate exactly. I've met gods and angels and even been dead a few times, but I've always believed we make our own paths through the choices we make. An interesting perspective from one who has traversed dimensions, Kagaya observed. Yet here you are, at precisely the moment when our struggle against Muzan Kibutsuji reaches its crescendo. Coincidence? Goku shrugged. Maybe, maybe not. Either way, I'm here now, and I want to help while I figure out how to get back home. Kagaya nodded, seeming satisfied with this answer. I understand you had a breakthrough with Kamado Tanjiro's sister last night. Word travels fast around here, Goku remarked, surprised. Yeah, I shared some of my ki with her. Seemed to strengthen her human side. She even managed to speak a little. Fascinating. Kagaya leaned forward slightly. In all our records, spanning hundreds of years of conflict with demonkind, there has never been a documented case of a demon regaining their humanity. Not even partially. Really? So what I did was a first. Indeed. And it raises intriguing possibilities. Kagaya's expression grew thoughtful. Your energy, this ki you speak of, appears fundamentally different from the demonic power that flows from Muzan to his creations. Perhaps it represents a counterbalance of sorts. Goku considered this. Maybe. Ki is pure life energy. Everyone has it naturally. The demonic energy I've sensed here feels corrupted somehow. Like normal human ki that's been twisted into something else. That aligns with our understanding, Kagaya confirmed. Muzan's blood transforms human cells, corrupting them from within. But if your energy can temporarily reverse or resist that corruption. He trailed off, clearly contemplating the implications. You think we could use this to help other demons? Goku asked. Or maybe even create some kind of cure? Perhaps. At minimum, it offers new insight into the nature of demonic transformation. Kagaya's voice took on a subtly urgent tone. I would like you to continue working with Nezuko Kamado. Document any changes, any progress. This could be vital to our cause. Sure thing. I was planning to anyway, Goku agreed readily. Tanjiro's been looking for a way to help his sister for a long time. If I can help with that, I'm all in. Kagaya smiled, the gesture softening his scarred face. Your heart is genuine, son Goku. That much is clear. He paused, his expression growing more serious. There is another matter we must discuss. One of grave importance. Sounds serious. Muzan Kibutsuji has taken notice of you, Kagaya stated bluntly. This presents both opportunity and danger. Opportunity because his focus on you might reveal weaknesses we can exploit. Danger because he might try to absorb or copy my power, Goku finished the thought. I've dealt with guys like that before. They always want what they don't have. Precisely. Kagaya nodded. Muzan has survived for centuries by adapting, absorbing strengths and eliminating threats. You represent something entirely new, power beyond his experience. He will not ignore such a potential resource. Let him try, Goku said confidently. I've faced worse. Your confidence is reassuring, but caution remains advisable, Kagaya replied. Muzan has survived this long through cunning as much as strength. He will not confront you directly until he understands your capabilities and limitations. So he'll send his underlings to test me first, Goku surmised. Like that Enmu guy from the other night. Yes, though I suspect he will escalate quickly. The upper moons of the 12 Kazuki are orders of magnitude more dangerous than their lower counterparts. Kagaya's voice grew grave. Even my Hashira struggle against the upper ranks. Only the most exceptional among them have ever defeated such foes. And you think these upper moon guys will come after me? Without question. Muzan will want to assess your strength thoroughly. Kagaya leaned forward slightly. Which brings me to my proposal. I would like you to train with the Hashira, both to share your knowledge of ki manipulation and to learn our breathing styles. A mutual exchange that might benefit both parties. Goku's face lit up with excitement. That sounds awesome. I love learning new techniques, and teaching ki basics isn't too hard. When do we start? Today, if you're willing, Kagaya smiled at Goku's enthusiasm. Kaijuro Rengoku has practically demanded the honor of being your first training partner. His passion for swordsmanship is matched only by his desire to learn. Sounds great. The fire guy seems fun, Goku grinned. And what about Nezuko's training? When should we continue that? I've arranged for private quarters where you can work with her safely, away from prying eyes, Kagaya replied. While many in the Corps accept Tanjiro's sister, others remain skeptical. Discretion would be wise. Got it. Secret demon rehabilitation, Goku nodded. Anything else I should know? Kagaya was silent for a moment, as if weighing his next words carefully. There is one more thing, he finally said. A matter of politics within the Corps. Politics? Goku groaned. Not my strong suit. Nevertheless, you should be aware, Kagaya insisted gently. Not all the Hashira share my perspective regarding your potential contribution. Some see you as a valuable ally, others as an unpredictable threat, and some. He hesitated, some may view you as a potential weapon to be wielded. Let me guess, Goku said, surprisingly perceptive despite his usual carefree demeanor, they're already arguing about how best to use me against Muzan. Indeed, Kagaya acknowledged. The serpent Hashira, Abanai Iguro, believes your power should be immediately directed toward hunting upper moons. The wind Hashira, Sanemi Shinazugawa, is more interested in testing your limits in combat himself. Others counsel patience and research. And what do you think? Goku asked directly. I believe in respecting the autonomy of powerful allies, Kagaya said diplomatically. Your cooperation cannot be compelled, only earned through mutual respect and shared purpose. Goku nodded appreciatively. I like that approach. Don't worry, I'm happy to help fight these demons while I'm here, but I don't take orders well. Never have. Ask Vegeta, he added with a grin, referring to his longtime rival. Then we understand each other, Kagaya concluded with a small smile. One final piece of advice, if I may. In your interactions with the Hashira and other demon slayers, remember that they have fought and lost comrades in this war for years. Their caution and intensity stem from hard-won experience. I get it, Goku said, his expression momentarily serious. I've lost friends in battle too. Some came back, some didn't. Changes how you look at fighting. Indeed. Kagaya extended his hand in a gesture of formal alliance. I believe your presence here, however it came about, may change the course of our centuries-long conflict. Let us make the most of this opportunity. Goku shook the offered hand carefully, mindful of the master's physical fragility. Count on it. As Goku left the master's residence with Kaneo, his mind buzzed with new possibilities. Teaching key techniques to the Hashira could be fun, they already had exceptional bodily control through their breathing styles, which should make the transition easier. And learning those techniques himself might add some interesting variations to his own fighting style. Hey Kaneo, he asked as they walked back toward the main compound, what's your breathing style like? The insect thing? Kaneo looked slightly surprised at being addressed directly. Flower breathing, she corrected quietly. It's derived from water breathing, emphasizing grace and precision. Sounds cool. You'll have to show me sometime, Goku said cheerfully. I bet your techniques would translate well to key manipulation. Before Kaneo could respond, a familiar voice called out from ahead. Goku-is in. Over here. Kaijuro Rengoku stood at the training field entrance, waving enthusiastically. Beside him stood several other Hashira, including Ju Tomioka, Mitsuri Kenroji, and Michiro Takedo. Looks like your training partners are ready, Kaneo observed, a hint of amusement in her usually neutral voice. Good luck. Goku jogged over to the waiting Hashira, excitement building at the prospect of exchanging techniques with such skilled warriors. Different as this world was from his own, the thrill of training with powerful fighters remained universal. Ready for an enlightening exchange of martial knowledge? Kaijuro boomed, clapping Goku on the shoulder. You bet. Goku grinned. But fair warning, learning key manipulation isn't easy. It might take time to see results. We Hashira are nothing if not dedicated to mastery, Ju Tomioka stated flatly, his stern expression unchanged. So how do we begin? Mitsuri asked eagerly, her pink hair bouncing with her enthusiasm. Do we need special equipment? Secret mantras? Ritual preparation? Goku laughed. Nothing that complicated. Let's start with the basics, understanding what ki actually is. He gestured to the open training field. Shall we? For the next several hours, Goku led the curious Hashira through fundamental ki theory. He explained the concept of life energy flowing through all living things, how it could be sensed, directed, and eventually manifested externally. The Hashira proved to be exceptional students, their years of breathing style training giving them a head start on the bodily awareness necessary for ki manipulation. The key difference, Goku explained as they sat in meditative positions, is that breathing styles focus and enhance your natural physical abilities, while ki manipulation actually draws out your internal energy as an external force. Like this? Kaijuro asked, holding his palm upward in concentration. After several minutes of intense focus, the faintest shimmer of energy flickered above his hand, not quite visible, but detectable to Goku's trained senses. That's it. Goku exclaimed, genuinely impressed. You're getting it faster than most. Took me years as a kid to get that far. Kaijuro beamed with pride. I feel it. Like fire beneath my skin, but controllable. The others had varying degrees of success. Mitsuri seemed to have a natural affinity for energy sensing, while Ju struggled with the externalization aspect despite his perfect form. Muchiro, the Mist Hashira, appeared to be daydreaming half the time, yet somehow managed flickers of success when he actually focused. After the initial lessons, Goku suggested they demonstrate their breathing styles for him. I learn better by watching and doing, he explained. Show me your techniques, and I'll try to understand how they might connect to ki usage. What followed was an impressive display of the Hashira's specialized techniques. Kaijuro's flame breathing created actual visual manifestations of fire through pure swordsmanship. Ju's water breathing flowed with eerily liquid grace. Mitsuri's love breathing combined flexibility with devastating power. Muchiro's mist breathing was nearly impossible to track, his movements seeming to dissolve into thin air. Amazing! Goku exclaimed after they finished. You're actually manifesting elements through pure physical technique and breathing control. It's like a specialized form of ki manipulation, but focused through weapon techniques rather than direct energy projection. Could our breathing styles be enhanced through ki control? Ju asked, showing rare interest. Definitely, Goku nodded enthusiastically. Imagine adding actual energy projection to your water techniques, or reinforcing your blade with ki during strikes. The possibilities are pretty exciting. What about you, Goku-san? Mitsuri asked. Would you like to try learning one of our breathing styles? I'm not much of a swordsman, Goku admitted. But the breathing and movement principles could definitely be useful. Maybe a style that works well with hand-to-hand combat. Beast breathing might suit you. Kaijuro suggested. Hashibara Inosuke developed it himself, wild, unpredictable, perfect for someone who fights primarily with their body rather than a blade. Or perhaps stone breathing, Ju offered. Himejima's style emphasizes raw power and unbreakable defense. As they discussed the possibilities, a messenger approached the training field, bowing respectfully before addressing the group. Forgive the interruption, Hashira-sama, Goku-sama. Tanjiro Kamadu requests Goku-san's presence at the designated location. The formal language barely concealed the messenger's meaning. It was time for Nezuko's training session. Ah, I should go, Goku said, rising from his cross-legged position. Thanks for the training exchange. Same time tomorrow. Without fail. Kaijuro declared enthusiastically. We've only scratched the surface of this fascinating knowledge. As Goku followed the messenger through the compound, he reflected on how quickly he'd adapted to this new world. Despite the strange era, different power systems, an ongoing demon threat, there was something refreshingly straightforward about the Demon Slayer Corps and their mission. Fighting against creatures that preyed on innocence, it was the kind of clear-cut battle Goku could appreciate. The messenger led him to a secluded building at the far edge of the compound, partially concealed by a grove of bamboo. Inside, Tanjiro waited with Nezuko, who sat alert and attentive on a cushion. Her bamboo muzzle rested beside her, unnecessary now that she showed increased control. Goku. Tanjiro greeted him with evident excitement. Nezuko has maintained her improvements since last night. She's been able to speak several more words today. That's awesome. Goku replied, genuinely pleased. He knelt down to Nezuko's eye level. Hey there. Ready for another session? Nezuko nodded, her large eyes focused intently on Goku. Ready, she said, the single word coming out clearly despite her obvious effort. Perfect. Let's build on what we started yesterday, Goku said. He positioned himself across from Nezuko and extended his hands. Same as before, palms against mine. As Nezuko placed her hands on Goku's, he closed his eyes in concentration. The blue-white glow of his ki emerged more quickly this time, flowing from his palms into Nezuko's fingers and spreading throughout her body. This time, Goku focused more intently, directing his energy with greater precision toward specific points where the demonic energy seemed strongest. I'm going to try something a little different, he explained as the glow intensified. Instead of just sharing my energy, I'm going to see if I can help your own human ki flow more freely. Everyone has their own natural energy, your demon transformation has suppressed yours, but it should still be there. Tanjiro watched in fascination as the light surrounding his sister shifted and pulsed. Nezuko's eyes widened, then gradually softened, the demonic red fading slightly to reveal hints of her original eye color. Her breathing, normally unnecessary for a demon, fell into a steady rhythm that matched Goku's. After several minutes, Goku carefully withdrew his hands, the glow fading gradually rather than abruptly. Nezuko blinked several times, then straightened her posture in a distinctly human gesture. How do you feel? Tanjiro asked tentatively. Nezuko turned to her brother, her expression more animated than it had been in years. I feel more myself, she said slowly, forming each word with care. Memories, clearer. Tanjiro's eyes immediately welled with tears. You remember our family? Nezuko nodded, her own eyes glistening. Mother. Takeo, Hanako, Shigeru, Rokuta. Father. She touched her hand to Tanjiro's scarred cheek. And you. Always you. Goku sat back, watching the siblings' emotional reunion with quiet satisfaction. This was why he fought, not just for the thrill of battle, but for moments like these, when his power could genuinely help others. This is incredible progress, he observed after giving them a moment. Her human consciousness is definitely getting stronger. The demonic energy is still there, but it's not dominating her system anymore. Can she be fully cured? Tanjiro asked, hope evident in his voice. Hard to say, Goku replied honestly. This is uncharted territory for me too. But each session seems to produce stronger results, so I'd say there's definitely hope. As they continued the training, Goku guided Nezuko through basic meditation techniques designed to help her recognize and strengthen her own internal energy. By the session's end, she was able to maintain a rudimentary conversation, though complex sentences still eluded her. More significantly, she showed clear emotional responses that had been muted in her demonic state, joy, sadness, curiosity, and most importantly, the familial love that had allowed her to resist harming humans from the beginning. We should report this progress to Master Abuyashiki, Tanjiro said as they concluded the session. This could change everything we thought we knew about demon transformation. Good idea, but maybe let's keep the details limited to a small group for now, Goku suggested. Something tells me not everyone would be thrilled about a demon regaining human consciousness. You're right, Tanjiro agreed. Some within the core believe all demons should be destroyed without exception. Even Nezuko's case has been controversial. Their discussion was interrupted by a sharp knock at the door. Zenitsu poked his head in, his expression unusually serious. "Sorry to interrupt, but something's happening," he said urgently. Multiple reports of demon attacks in Asakusa, all at once, in broad daylight. Daylight? Tanjiro stood quickly. "That's impossible. Demons can't survive in sunlight." "These are," Zenitsu insisted. "They're wearing some kind of protective clothing, head-to-toe coverage. The Hashira are being mobilized." Goku rose to his feet, his expression turning serious. "This sounds like a response to my arrival. Musen's testing the waters." "Most likely," Tanjiro agreed grimly. "Demons attacking in daylight, even with protection, is unprecedented. They must be desperate to gather information about you." "Then let's not disappoint them," Goku said with a hint of his battle-loving scion nature showing through. "I'm ready when you are." "I'll come too," Nezuko declared suddenly, rising to her feet with uncharacteristic determination. All eyes turned to her in surprise. "Nezuko, it's too dangerous," Tanjiro began, but she shook her head firmly. "I can help," she insisted. "I sense demons. Different from me now." Goku considered this. She has a point. Her enhanced senses might be useful, and with the key infusion strengthening her human side, she should have better control. Plus, if these demons are covered against sunlight, she could move among them without suspicion. Tanjiro still looked uncertain, but nodded reluctantly. "We'll need to cover you completely, just like them. And you'll need to stay close to us." "And me," Nezuko affirmed, pointing to herself. Within the hour, they had joined a larger group preparing to depart for Asakusa. Kaijuro Rengoku would lead the mission, with support from Ju Tomioka and Shinobu Kocho. Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke were assigned as well, along with several other demon slayers of various ranks. Goku and Nezuko, heavily veiled and covered, completed the unusual strike team. Reports indicate at least 12 demons operating in coordinated fashion. Kaijuro briefed them as they prepared to depart. "They've targeted crowded areas, markets, theaters, busy streets. Their objective appears to be creating confusion rather than maximizing casualties." "A distraction," Ju observed coldly. "Or bait. Either way, we must respond decisively," Kaijuro declared. "Civilian protection is our priority. Eliminate the demons quickly and with minimal public disruption." "What about me?" Goku asked. "I'm guessing I'm the real target here. Should I hang back or go in first?" "Neither," Shinobu answered, her perpetual smile somehow more calculating than friendly. "You'll accompany us but remain inconspicuous initially. Let's see what these demons are specifically looking for before revealing our trump card." "Makes sense," Goku nodded. "I can suppress my power level to seem like an ordinary human. Might help us figure out what they're really after." The journey to Asakusa took several hours, even at the enhanced pace of the demon slayers. Goku could have transported them instantly with his instant transmission, but as Shinobu pointed out, arriving suddenly in the middle of the city would draw exactly the kind of attention they were hoping to avoid. As they approached the outskirts of the bustling metropolis, the signs of disturbance became evident. People fled in scattered groups from the city center, their expressions panicked. Smoke rose from several locations, and distant screams punctuated the unusual afternoon chaos. "Remember," Kaijuro instructed as they prepared to enter the city, "these demons have found a way to move in daylight. Do not assume sunlight will provide protection or advantage. We'll split into 3 teams," Shinobu added. "Rengoku-san will take the market district. Tomioka-san, the entertainment quarter. I'll handle the residential area where several sightings were reported." "What about me?" Goku asked. "You'll come with me," Kaijuro decided. "The market district has the most reported activity, and the most civilians at risk." They separated at a major intersection, each group heading toward their assigned sector. As Goku followed Kaijuro's team through increasingly crowded streets, he kept his senses sharp, searching for the telltale signature of demonic energy amid the chaos. The market district was a scene of controlled panic. Vendors abandoned their stalls, customers fled with purchases forgotten, and uniformed police attempted vainly to restore order. Above it all, dark-robed figures moved with unnatural speed across rooftops and through narrow alleys, visible only as flashes of movement to ordinary human eyes. "There!" Inosuke shouted, pointing toward a covered figure cornering a group of schoolchildren against a storefront. "Got one." Before anyone could stop him, the boar-headed swordsman charged forward, drawing his serrated blades. The demon turned at the last moment, its face completely concealed by layers of black cloth wrapped around its head. Only its eyes were visible, glowing red with predatory hunger. Inosuke's attack was perfectly executed, his beast-breathing second fang slicing through the demon's neck in one clean strike. The head separated from the body, both parts immediately crumbling to dust. "Ha! Too easy." Inosuke crowed triumphantly. "Something's not right," Tanjiro muttered, his enhanced sense of smell detecting an anomaly. That demon was weak. Much weaker than it should have been for a daylight operation. A foot soldier, Kaijuro agreed, his usual boisterous manner replaced by tactical focus. Cannon fodder. Goku, who had been scanning the area with his key senses, suddenly stiffened. "We're being watched," he said quietly. Multiple high-power signatures surrounding the district. "They're not engaging, just observing." "Upper moons?" Tanjiro asked tensely. "Can't tell exactly, but definitely way stronger than that one Inosuke just took down," Goku confirmed. "They're masking their presence pretty well, but I can still sense their energy." Kaijuro considered this information, his flame-colored eyes scanning the rooftops. "We proceed with the mission as planned," he decided. "Protect civilians, eliminate the active threats. But remain alert for the real danger." They moved deeper into the market district, encountering and dispatching several more of the robed demons. Each battle followed the same pattern, demons of surprisingly low strength for such a bold operation, attacking in ways that seemed designed to cause panic rather than maximize kills. "It's like they want to be seen," Zenitsu observed nervously after they dispatched a fifth demon. "Like this is all for show." "That's exactly what it is," Goku agreed. "A show put on for my benefit. They're trying to draw me out, see how I respond to a public crisis." As if confirming his analysis, a massive explosion rocked the far end of the market square. Screams intensified as civilians fled the new threat. Through the smoke and debris emerged a much larger demon, easily 7 feet tall, with 4 arms visible beneath its protective robes. "That one's different," Goku noted, sensing a significantly higher energy signature. "Still not upper moon level, but much stronger than the others." "Then we face it together," Kaijuro declared, drawing his flame-patterned blade. "Kamadu, Hashira, Agatsuma, evacuate the remaining civilians. Goku-san and I will handle this threat." The young demon slayers acknowledged the order and split off to help clear the area. Kaijuro and Goku approached the four-armed demon, which had stopped advancing and stood eerily still in the center of the destroyed marketplace. "Are you the one called Son Goku?" the demon asked, its voice surprisingly refined despite the monstrous appearance. "That's me," Goku confirmed, dropping any pretense of hiding his identity. "And you are?" The demon performed an incongruously elegant bow. "I have no name worth sharing, merely a messenger. My master sends his regards and a question." "Let me guess," Goku replied. "Musen Kibutsuji wants to know where I came from and how strong I really am." A dry chuckle emerged from beneath the demon's rapt face. "Perceptive. Yes, Lord Musen is curious about your nature. You are neither human nor demon, yet you exist in our world. An anomaly to be studied. If he wants to know about me, he should just ask directly," Goku said. "I'm not big on playing games." Lord Muzan prefers to gather information through observation, the demon replied smoothly. Which brings me to the purpose of today's demonstration. With blinding speed, the demon thrust all 4 arms forward. From its palms erupted not an attack, but a strange mist that expanded rapidly to engulf the entire market square. Kaijuro immediately fell into a defensive stance, his breathing technique intensifying in preparation for battle. But the mist wasn't a weapon, it was a veil. As it cleared seconds later, the marketplace had transformed. Where panicked civilians had stood moments before, dozens of demons now emerged from concealment, each wearing the same protective robes, but now removing their face coverings to reveal their true forms. An illusion, Kaijuro realized, his eyes widening. The civilians were never in danger, the 4-armed demon finished. Merely an illusion to draw out the demon slayers, and you, son Goku. Now, the real test begins. The surrounding demons began closing in, forming a tightening circle around Goku and Kaijuro. Unlike the cannon fodder they dispatched earlier, these demons radiated significant power, perhaps lower moon level or close to it. Magnificent deception. Kaijuro acknowledged, his fighting spirit undiminished. But your plan has one fatal flaw. Oh. The 4-armed demon inquired. You've trapped yourselves with us, rather than trapping us with you. The flame Hashira's blade ignited with the visual manifestation of his breathing style, flames seeming to dance along the steel. I admire your confidence, Flame Hashira, the demon replied. But this encounter has parameters you don't yet understand. It turned its attention to Goku. We've studied the reports from Enmu's encounter with you. Your power is impressive, but is it limitless? Can it be drained? Before Goku could respond, the entire circle of demons thrust their hands forward simultaneously. A crackling network of energy, not unlike ki but corrupted and twisted, formed between them, creating a dome that enclosed the marketplace entirely. What the? Goku began, feeling an immediate drain on his energy as the barrier solidified. It wasn't painful exactly, but he could sense his ki being siphoned away, drawn into the structure of the barrier itself. A specialized blood demon art, the 4-armed demon explained with evident pride. Developed specifically after analyzing the energy you displayed in your previous encounters. This barrier feeds on power like yours, growing stronger as it drains you. Kaijuro immediately attacked, his blade slashing toward the nearest section of the barrier. The flame-wreathed sword struck the energy field and rebounded with a shower of sparks, leaving the barrier undamaged. Conventional attacks are useless, the demon stated. Only overwhelming power from within could possibly break this containment, power that will be steadily drained the longer you remain inside. A perfect test of your limits, son Goku. Goku felt the continuous pull on his energy reserves, not debilitating yet, but steadily increasing. Pretty clever, he acknowledged. But you've made a big mistake. Have I? The demon asked, genuine curiosity in its voice. Yeah. Goku smiled, the expression holding none of his usual cheerfulness, only the battle-hardened confidence of a Saiyan warrior. You think draining my energy will weaken me enough to defeat me. But I've spent my whole life fighting with handicaps. It just makes things more interesting. Without waiting for a response, Goku launched himself at the nearest group of demons. Even with his power being continuously drained, his speed and technique remained far beyond their capacity to counter. 3 demons crumbled to dust before they could even register the attack, their heads separated from their bodies by precise strikes from Goku's bare hands. Across the marketplace, Kaijuro engaged another cluster of demons, his flame-breathing techniques creating a whirlwind of fire and precision that overcame their numerical advantage. UMAI, he shouted as he cut down opponent after opponent, his swordsmanship elevated to artistic levels. Despite their initial success, both warriors quickly realized the strategic problem they faced. Each defeated demon seemed to strengthen the barrier, channeling their remaining energy into the draining field. And while Goku and Kaijuro dispatched their opponents with impressive efficiency, their own stamina was being steadily depleted. Goku-san. Kaijuro called out after cutting down his fifth demon. The barrier grows stronger with each defeat. We must target its source. Goku nodded, already having reached the same conclusion. He focused his senses on the energy pattern of the barrier, tracing its flow back to the four-armed guy. He's the anchor point. The demon in question stood at the center of the marketplace, all four arms raised as it chanted in an ancient language. The barrier's energy flowed visibly into and through its body, creating a circuit that powered the draining effect. I'll handle the remaining demons, Kaijuro declared. You focus on the controller. Goku dashed toward the four-armed demon, only to find his movement increasingly sluggish as he approached the center of the barrier. The draining effect intensified near its source, pulling at his ki with growing force. Finding it difficult to move, aren't you? The demon observed without ceasing its chant. The closer you get to me, the more power you lose. An elegant trap, designed specifically for beings of great energy. Goku pushed forward, each step requiring more effort than the last. He could feel his reserves depleting faster now, still far from empty, but dropping at an alarming rate. If he didn't end this quickly, he might actually find himself in trouble. Time for a different approach, he muttered to himself. Focusing inward, Goku altered his energy flow, compressing his ki into a tight core at his center rather than allowing it to flow throughout his body as usual. This technique, something he developed during his God Ki training, reduced the surface area of energy the barrier could draw from. The effect was immediate. The draining slowed, and Goku's movement became easier. The four-armed demon's eyes widened in surprise. Impossible, it hissed. You've adapted to the drain already? I've had a lot of practice managing my energy, Goku replied with a grin. Now, let's finish this. With renewed mobility, Goku closed the remaining distance in a blur of speed. The four-armed demon abandoned its chanting position and shifted to combat stance, all four limbs moving in perfect coordination as it unleashed a flurry of strikes. Each blow carried surprising power, enhanced by the energy the demon had absorbed from the barrier. Goku blocked and countered with precision, his martial arts mastery evident even with his power partially suppressed. He analyzed the demon's fighting style, a multi-limbed variant of an ancient combat technique he recognized from his own world, adapted to the demon's unique physiology. You fight well for a demon, Goku commented as he dodged a particularly vicious combination. Most of the others just rely on raw strength and speed. I was a martial artist in life, the demon replied, continuing its relentless assault. Lord Muzan values such skills, they survive the transformation where other human traits fade. Their battle intensified, drawing them into a rhythm of attack and counter that would have been beautiful to witness had the stakes not been so high. Around them, Kaijuro continued his one-man war against the remaining demons, his flame-breathing techniques cutting through their ranks with devastating efficiency. But even as they fought, Goku noticed something concerning, his compressed energy core was still being drained, just more slowly. And the barrier, far from weakening as they eliminated demons, continued to strengthen as it absorbed more power. This wasn't a battle they could win through attrition. Time to try something else, Goku decided. Stepping back from his opponent, he took a deep breath and centered himself. Sorry about this, but I need to end this quickly. The four-armed demon tensed, sensing a change in Goku's approach. Whatever you're planning won't work. The barrier isn't designed to handle what comes next, Goku interrupted. You analyzed my energy from previous encounters, but you haven't seen anything yet. With a focused shout, Goku began to transform. Golden light erupted around him as his hair shifted from black to brilliant gold, standing upright with the surge of power. The transformation to Super Saiyan sent a shockwave through the marketplace, momentarily disrupting the barrier's drain. What manner of technique is this? The demon gasped, taking an involuntary step backward. This is a Super Saiyan, Goku explained, his voice deeper in his transformed state. And it's just the beginning. The barrier immediately responded to this new power source, intensifying its drain to unprecedented levels. Goku could feel it pulling at his Super Saiyan energy, greedily absorbing the golden ki that radiated from his transformed state. But there was a critical difference. Where his base form had been gradually weakened by the drain, his Super Saiyan transformation produced energy faster than the barrier could absorb it. It was like trying to empty an overflowing bathtub with a drinking straw. Impossible, the four-armed demon whispered, genuine fear entering its voice for the first time. The power, it's not depleting. That's the thing about Super Saiyan, Goku said, advancing steadily now despite the barrier's maximum drain. It's not just a power-up. It's a transformation that continuously generates energy. Your barrier can't keep up. Realizing the danger, the demon abandoned its controlled fighting style for desperate all-out attack. All four arms blurred as they struck with killing intent, aiming for vital points with precision born of centuries of combat experience. Goku met the assault head-on, his transformed state allowing him to match and exceed the demon's speed despite the continuing energy drain. Each exchange ended more decisively in Goku's favor as he adapted to the four-armed fighting style, predicting and countering with growing efficiency. "You're good," Goku acknowledged as he blocked 3 simultaneous strikes and countered with a precise blow that shattered one of the demon's arms. "But you're fighting a losing battle now." Across the marketplace, Kaijuro had decimated the remaining demon forces, his blade flashing with supernatural speed as he executed flame-breathing techniques with masterful precision. "The reinforcements are eliminated," he called out triumphantly, turning to observe Goku's battle with the leader. The four-armed demon, now reduced to 3 functional limbs, glanced between the approaching flame Hashira and the golden-haired warrior before it. For the first time, uncertainty entered its calculated demeanor. "This encounter has provided valuable data," it stated, attempting to maintain composure. "Lord Muzan will be most interested in your transformation ability. If you think this is impressive, you should see what comes next," Goku replied. "But I don't think you'll get the chance." With a final burst of speed, Goku closed the distance and delivered a precise strike to the demon's neck, not severing it completely as a Nichiren blade would, but damaging it enough to disrupt its function. The demon staggered backward, clutching at its partially crushed throat. "Finish it, Flame Hashira," Goku called out, stepping aside as Kaijuro charged forward. "Flame breathing, 5th form, Flame Tiger." Kaijuro's blade ignited with brilliant orange energy as it swept through the demon's neck, separating head from body with surgical precision. Both parts crumbled to ash, and with their destruction, the energy barrier surrounding the marketplace began to waver and dissolve. As the barrier dissipated completely, Goku powered down from his Super Saiyan state, returning to his base form with a relieved exhalation. "That was more of a workout than I expected," he admitted, rolling his shoulders. "That energy-draining technique was pretty effective. Magnificent teamwork," Kaijuro declared, sheathing his blade with a flourish. "Your transformation was extraordinary. Such power, such control." Before Goku could respond, the sound of approaching footsteps drew their attention. Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke rushed into the marketplace, followed closely by Nezuko in her protective coverings. "We saw the golden light from across the district," Tanjiro exclaimed. "What happened?" "A trap," Kaijuro explained succinctly. "Designed specifically to test Goku-san's capabilities and limits." "Did you guys run into similar setups in your areas?" Goku asked. Tanjiro nodded grimly. Jusan encountered an identical scenario in the entertainment district: illusory civilians, demons in disguise, and a barrier technique. Shinobu-san reported the same in the residential quarter. "Coordinated attacks across the entire city," Kaijuro observed thoughtfully. "This level of organization is unprecedented. Muzan Kibutsuji must consider you a significant factor, Goku-san." "Well, he's definitely got my attention now," Goku replied, his usual cheerfulness returning. "Those energy-draining barriers were pretty clever. Probably would have worked on most opponents." "The others are regrouping at the city's edge," Tanjiro reported. "We should join them and compare findings." As they made their way through the now empty streets of Asakusa, Goku reflected on the encounter. The demons had clearly been prepared for him specifically, the energy-draining barrier designed to counter his ki-based abilities. That level of tactical adaptation after just one previous encounter suggested that Muzan Kibutsuji was not only intelligent but dangerously innovative. They found the other teams waiting at the predetermined meeting point, a small shrine at the city's eastern edge. Ju Tomioka stood in stoic silence, his uniform showing signs of intense battle. Shinobu Kocho maintained her perpetual smile despite a visible tear in her butterfly-patterned haori. "I see you encountered similar resistance," Kaijuro observed as they approached. "Indeed," Shinobu replied lightly, though her eyes remained serious. "Energy-draining barriers, coordinated demon teams, the works. Quite the elaborate welcome party for our interdimensional guest." "The barrier in my sector was anchored by a demon with unusual sound-based abilities," Ju reported. "It attempted to analyze and counter my water-breathing techniques through sonic disruption. Mine was anchored by a demon that manipulated poison," Shinobu added. "Specifically designed to counter my own insect-based techniques. They were prepared for us individually." "Same here," Goku confirmed. "A martial artist demon with a fighting style adapted to counter mine. Someone did their homework. But how?" Zenitsu wondered aloud. "You've only been in this world for days. How could they have studied you so thoroughly already?" "Muzan's intelligence network is far more extensive than we realized," Ju stated flatly. "And his adaptability more dangerous than we anticipated." "There's something else," Tanjiro said, his enhanced sense of smell detecting an anomaly. "All these demons, they smelled different from normal demons. More like Nezuko," Goku finished, having sensed the same thing. Their energy signature was closer to hers, more human elements mixed with the demonic power. All eyes turned to the covered figure of Nezuko, who had remained silent throughout the exchange. She nodded slowly in confirmation. "Like me," she agreed. "But, wrong. Forced." Shinobu's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. "If Muzan is experimenting with maintaining human characteristics in his demons, or perhaps restoring them. He's trying to copy what we're doing with Nezuko," Goku realized. "He must have gotten reports about our key training sessions somehow. A spy within the core?" Kaijuro suggested, his normally cheerful face darkening. "Or simply observant demons watching from a distance," Ju countered. "Either way, our next steps must be taken with greater caution." As they discussed security measures for the return journey, Goku noticed Nezuko staring intently at the sky. Following her gaze, he spotted what had caught her attention, a single crow circling high above them. Not a messenger crow of the Demon Slayer Corps, but an ordinary bird, or was it? "Hey, Tanjiro," Goku said quietly, gesturing subtly toward the bird. "Is that normal? That crow's been circling us since we regrouped." Tanjiro looked up, his enhanced senses focusing on the distant bird. "That's not a crow," he said after a moment. "The scent is wrong. It's..." Before he could finish, the bird suddenly plummeted, transforming mid-descent into a small, bat-like creature. It streaked toward them at supernatural speed, its trajectory aimed directly at Goku. "Incoming!" Goku warned, shifting into a defensive stance. Ju's sword flashed faster than the human eye could track, intercepting the creature before it could reach Goku. The blade sliced clean through its body, causing it to dissolve into ash, but not before it released a small, glowing orb that struck Goku's chest and immediately sank beneath his skin. "What was that?" Zenitsu shrieked, jumping back in alarm. Goku looked down at his chest where the orb had disappeared. "Some kind of energy injection," he said, concentrating on the foreign presence now circulating through his system. "I can feel it moving inside me. A tracking method, perhaps?" Shinobu suggested, her medical knowledge immediately engaged. "Or something more sinister." "Doesn't feel dangerous," Goku reported after a moment of internal assessment. "More like a scanning technique. It's moving through my energy pathways, almost like it's mapping them." Information gathering, Ju concluded grimly. Muzan continues to study you, even in defeat. Kaijuro stepped forward decisively. We must return to headquarters immediately. Master Obuyashiki must be informed of these developments. As they prepared to depart, Goku concentrated on the foreign energy moving through his system. It wasn't attempting to harm him, merely observe, catalog, analyze. Like a scientific probe sent to study an unknown phenomenon. This Muzan guy is smarter than I gave him credit for, Goku remarked to Tanjiro as they moved swiftly through the forested path away from Asakusa. He's not just throwing power at the problem, he's gathering data, adapting strategies. Muzan has survived for centuries by being adaptable, Tanjiro replied soberly. He's been hunted by the strongest swordsmen across generations and always remained a step ahead. Well, he hasn't faced a scion before, Goku said with characteristic confidence. And I'm still holding back quite a bit. That's what concerns me, Tanjiro admitted. He knows you're powerful, but he doesn't know your limits. He'll keep testing, probing, looking for weaknesses. And innocent people might get caught in the middle. Goku's expression grew serious. You're right. We can't just react to his moves, we need to take the initiative. He glanced ahead at the Hashira leading their group back toward headquarters. Think your leaders would be up for a more aggressive approach? What did you have in mind? Tanjiro asked. Instead of waiting for Muzan to study me, why don't we go hunting for him? Goku suggested. I might be able to sense him now that I know what demonic energy feels like. And with instant transmission, we could strike before he expects it. Tanjiro considered this. It's risky. Muzan has never been successfully cornered in centuries of hunting. He's a master of disguise and evasion. Everyone has patterns, Goku countered. And everyone makes mistakes eventually. We just need to force his hand. Their conversation was interrupted as Kaijuro dropped back to join them. I couldn't help overhearing your strategic deliberation, the Flame Hashira announced, his volume control apparently non-existent even during covert discussions. A direct offensive has merit, but would require extraordinary coordination. And approval from Master Obuyashiki, Ju added, appearing silently beside them. Such a significant departure from established doctrine cannot be undertaken without his consent. Of course, Goku agreed readily. I'm just thinking out loud. But from what I've seen today, Muzan is going to keep escalating his tests until he either figures out how to counter me or decides to confront me directly. I'd rather meet him on our terms than his. A sentiment shared by many Hashira, Shinobu commented, joining the conversation with her customary smile. Though methodologies might differ on implementation. The journey back to headquarters took the remainder of the day and most of the night, with the group moving at enhanced speed through forest paths and mountain trails. Throughout the journey, Goku continued to monitor the foreign energy that had been injected into his system. It completed its apparent scanning operation after several hours, then simply remained dormant, like a beacon waiting to be activated. Dawn was breaking as they arrived at the hidden compound, weary but intact. They were immediately ushered to the main hall, where Master Obuyashiki awaited their report despite the early hour. I sensed your return, Kagaya said by way of greeting, his blind eyes somehow tracking their entrance perfectly. The coordinated nature of these attacks concerns me greatly. Kaijuro stepped forward and delivered a comprehensive briefing on the Asakusa incident, the illusory civilians, the energy-draining barrier specifically designed to counter Goku's abilities, and the injection of the tracking substance. Most concerning is the evidence of accelerated adaptation, Shinobu added after Kaijuro finished. These demons displayed techniques that must have been developed specifically in response to Goku-san's abilities, yet he has been in our world less than a week. Muzan Kibutsuji has always been adaptable, Kagaya acknowledged, but never at this pace. Your presence, Son Goku, appears to have catalyzed something within him, perhaps fear, perhaps opportunity. Either way, he moves with unprecedented urgency. There's something else, Tanjiro interjected respectfully. The demons we encountered, they showed signs of retained humanity, similar to Nezuko. Their scent was different from normal demons. This revelation caused Kagaya to lean forward with increased interest. You believe Muzan is attempting to replicate Nezuko's condition? Or trying to understand the key infusions I've been doing with her, Goku suggested. The timing can't be coincidence. Somehow he learned about our training sessions and is trying his own experiments. Kagaya was silent for a long moment, his scarred face contemplative. This suggests Muzan sees something of value in what you've achieved with Nezuko. Perhaps a new avenue of power he hadn't considered before. Or a threat to his control over his creations, Ju offered. If demons can potentially regain their humanity through outside influence. Either way, we must accelerate our efforts, Kagaya decided. Son Goku, I would like you to continue working with Nezuko Kamadu, but with increased security and privacy. Whatever progress you're making clearly concerns Muzan enough to warrant his direct attention. What about the tracking energy inside me? Goku asked. Should we try to remove it somehow? Kagaya considered this, then shook his head. For now, let it remain. It may provide an opportunity to feed false information back to Muzan. But you should be aware that your movements are likely being monitored. I've dealt with worse, Goku shrugged. And it might come in handy if we decide to set a trap of our own. A possibility worth exploring, Kagaya agreed. For now, rest and recover. We will reconvene this evening to discuss our next steps. As the meeting concluded and the weary warriors dispersed to their quarters, Goku found himself accompanied by Tanjiro and Nezuko. The young demon slayer seemed troubled, his normally determined expression clouded with worry. Something on your mind? Goku asked as they walked through the compound. Tanjiro hesitated, then spoke quietly. If Muzan is experimenting with humanity and demons because of what you've done with Nezuko, is that our fault? Are we responsible for whatever he creates using that knowledge? Goku considered this seriously, recognizing the moral weight behind the question. Knowledge itself isn't good or bad, he finally replied. It's how it's used. We're trying to help Nezuko regain her humanity, that's a good thing. If Muzan twists that knowledge for his own purposes, that's on him, not us. But, think of it this way, Goku continued. If a doctor develops a medicine to help people, and then someone else figures out how to turn it into a poison, is the doctor responsible? They were just trying to heal. Tanjiro seemed to consider this, his troubled expression easing slightly. I understand your point. Still, I can't help feeling that we've accelerated something dangerous. Maybe we have, Goku acknowledged. But sometimes pushing things to a crisis point is the only way to resolve them. This conflict between Muzan and the demon slayers has been going on for centuries, right? Maybe it's time for it to reach a conclusion, one way or another. Nezuko, who had been silent throughout the exchange, suddenly spoke up. Worth the risk, she said carefully. For cure. Both Goku and Tanjiro looked at her in surprise. Her speech was still halting, but the complexity of the thought behind it showed significant progress. See? Goku smiled. Nezuko gets it. Sometimes you have to take risks to make real progress. You're right, Tanjiro agreed, his resolve returning. And whatever comes next, we'll face it together. As they reached their quarters, Goku sensed familiar energy signatures approaching rapidly. Moments later, Inosuke burst around the corner, bore mask firmly in place, followed by a reluctant-looking Zenitsu. Finger-flicking man. Inosuke bellowed, pointing dramatically at Goku. Teach me that gold hair technique. I need more power. It doesn't work that way, Zenitsu sighed, clearly having already explained this. Super Saiyan is specific to his race, right Goku-san? Technically, yes, Goku confirmed. But the principles behind it, accessing deeper reserves of power through intense emotional catalysts, that's something anyone could potentially adapt to their own abilities. Inosuke pounded his chest triumphantly. See? He's going to teach me. I'll be the first Super Saiyan Beast Hashira. Despite his exhaustion from the Asakusa mission, Goku couldn't help but laugh at Inosuke's enthusiasm. Tell you what, why don't I show all of you some basic ki techniques after we've rested? Not Super Saiyan transformation, but energy manipulation that anyone can learn with practice. Deal. Inosuke declared before anyone else could respond. At sunset, in the main training field. Hold on, Tanjiro interjected. We need to be more careful now. Muzan is watching us, possibly through the energy marker inside Goku. Private training would be safer. Tanjiro's right, Goku agreed. Let's use the secluded area where I've been working with Nezuko. It's more protected. Though clearly disappointed by the lack of spectacle, Inosuke eventually agreed to the arrangement. The group separated to find much-needed rest, with plans to reconvene after sunset for Goku's impromptu ki training session. As Goku settled onto his futon, he found his thoughts turning toward the broader implications of his presence in this world. Every dimensional visitor story he'd heard usually involved the traveler learning something important or fulfilling some destined purpose before returning home. Was helping Nezuko regain her humanity his purpose here? Or was it something larger, perhaps shifting the balance in the centuries-long conflict between humans and demons? These philosophical musings were unusual for Goku, who typically lived in the moment rather than contemplating cosmic significance. But something about this world, its straightforward battle between good and evil, its dedicated warriors fighting against overwhelming odds, resonated with him on a fundamental level. Whatever happens, he murmured as sleep finally claimed him, this is getting interesting. Sunset found Goku, fully rested and energized, waiting in the secluded training area with Tanjiro, Nezuko, Zenitsu, and an impatient Inosuke. The location was perfect for their purposes, a small clearing surrounded by dense bamboo, with a simple wooden structure nearby where Nezuko could retreat if necessary. Alright, Goku began, adopting a teaching tone reminiscent of his own early training days. Ki is the energy that flows through all living things. Unlike your breathing styles, which enhance your natural physical abilities, ki manipulation lets you project that energy externally. Like when you made that light appear above your hand? Zenitsu asked, surprisingly engaged despite his usual fearful demeanor. Exactly, Goku nodded. That's the most basic manifestation, just bringing your internal energy out into visible form. Let me show you again. He extended his palm upward and concentrated briefly. A small sphere of blue-white energy materialized, hovering an inch above his skin. Unlike his combat energy blasts, this was gentle, controlled, a teaching tool rather than a weapon. Whoa, Zenitsu breathed, leaning closer to examine the phenomenon. I want to try. Inosuke declared, thrusting his own palm out with comical intensity. Predictably, nothing happened. It's not about forcing it, Goku explained patiently. First, you need to feel your own energy. Close your eyes and focus inward, like you do when initiating your breathing styles, but instead of directing that energy to enhance your muscles, try to gather it in your core. The three demon slayers, and Nezuko, followed his instructions, each adopting a meditative posture with varying degrees of seriousness. Tanjiro, with his natural focus and bodily awareness, seemed to grasp the concept most quickly, his breathing falling into a rhythm distinct from his water-breathing techniques but similarly controlled. That's it, Tanjiro, Goku encouraged. You've already got great energy control through your breathing style. Just shift the focus from your muscles to your center. After several minutes of concentrated effort, Tanjiro opened his eyes. I think I can feel something, he said quietly. Like a warmth in my chest, different from the energy I use for water breathing. That's your ki center, Goku confirmed. Now, try to extend that sensation down your arm to your palm, like you're pouring water through a channel. Tanjiro extended his hand and focused intently. For a moment, nothing happened, then, faintly, the air above his palm shimmered with the barest hint of bluish light. It wasn't a fully formed energy sphere, but it was definitely ki manifestation in its earliest stage. I did it! Tanjiro exclaimed, his concentration immediately breaking and the shimmer vanishing. At least, I think I did. You definitely did, Goku confirmed with an encouraging grin. That's excellent progress for a first attempt. Most people take weeks to get even that far. Zenitsu, who had been watching with wide eyes, redoubled his efforts. If Tanjiro can do it, I have to try harder, he muttered, his competitive spirit momentarily overcoming his natural caution. To everyone's surprise, it was Nezuko who made the next breakthrough. Still sitting in meditative posture, she slowly raised her hand, above which flickered a small flame-like manifestation of energy, not quite stable, but clearly visible. Nezuko! Tanjiro gasped. How did you? The key infusions I've been giving her probably helped, Goku explained, studying Nezuko's achievement with interest. She's already familiar with how ki feels, so manifesting it herself is a natural next step. Nezuko's energy manifestation had an unusual quality, primarily the blue-white of natural ki, but with faint reddish threads woven through it, likely reflecting her dual nature as both human and demon. Interesting, Goku mused. Your demonic energy and human ki are integrating rather than opposing each other. That could be really significant for your recovery. Inosuke, never one to be outdone, practically vibrated with effort. Come out, energy, he demanded through gritted teeth, staring at his palm with such intensity it was a wonder it didn't spontaneously combust. Try a different approach, Inosuke, Goku suggested. Instead of forcing it, think about how you feel when you're at your strongest during battle. That emotional state can help channel ki naturally. The boar-headed demon slayer tilted his head consideringly, then closed his eyes again. His breathing shifted, becoming less forced and more rhythmic. After a few moments, a wild, untamed energy began to gather around him, not yet externalized, but definitely stirring. That's it, Goku encouraged. You've got a lot of raw power, Inosuke. It's just about directing it. By the end of the 2-hour session, all 3 demon slayers had made promising progress. Tanjiro could consistently produce a faint energy manifestation, Zenitsu had managed brief flickers when his concentration peaked, and Inosuke had created what could only be described as a chaotic energy disruption around his hand, not controlled, but definitely powerful. This is just the beginning, Goku explained as they concluded the training. With practice, you'll learn to project energy for attacks, enhance your physical abilities beyond what breathing styles alone can achieve, and eventually even sense other people's energy signatures from a distance. Could it help us against demons? Tanjiro asked, the practical application immediately on his mind. Definitely, Goku confirmed. Ki attacks can damage opponents in ways physical strikes can't. And energy sensing would let you detect demons without relying just on sight or smell. What about flying? Inosuke demanded. When do we learn to fly like you? Goku laughed. That's pretty advanced, but not impossible. It's all about projecting energy beneath you and controlling it to support and propel your body. We should continue these sessions regularly, Tanjiro decided. Even basic ki manipulation could give us an edge against the upper moons. Agreed, but we need to be careful, Zenitsu cautioned, his natural wariness reasserting itself. If Muzan is already studying Goku-san's energy, we don't want to reveal new techniques before we've mastered them. Zenitsu's right, Goku nodded. Keep practicing in private, but don't show these abilities in battle until you've got solid control. Element of surprise is important. As they prepared to leave the training area, Goku suddenly stiffened, his senses detecting an approaching energy signature, familiar, powerful, and moving with purpose. Someone's coming, he announced quietly. A Hashira, I think. Moments later, Ju Tomioka appeared at the edge of the clearing, his stern expression even more serious than usual. You're needed in the main hall, he stated without preamble. All of you. What's happening? Tanjiro asked, immediately alert to the water Hashira's unusual urgency. An upper moon has been spotted near the headquarters perimeter, Ju replied grimly. And it's asking for Son Goku by name. The atmosphere immediately tensed. An upper moon, one of the 6 most powerful demons under Musen's direct command, approaching the Demon Slayer headquarters was unprecedented. That it was specifically requesting Goku made the situation even more alarming. Which one? Tanjiro asked, his hand instinctively moving to his sword hilt. Upper Moon 6, Daki, Drew replied. At least, that's what our scouts report. She's made no aggressive moves yet, merely stated her intention to deliver a message to the Golden Warrior from another world. Sounds like an invitation, Goku observed. Or a trap. Most likely both, Drew agreed. Master Ubuyashiki wishes to discuss our response. Several Hashira have already assembled. They made their way quickly to the main hall, where an emergency council was indeed underway. Kaijuro, Shinobu, and Sanemi were engaged in heated debate when Goku's group entered, with Master Ubuyashiki mediating from his position at the head of the room. Ah, Son Goku, Kagaya acknowledged their arrival. We face an unusual situation that directly concerns you. So I heard, Goku replied. An upper moon asking for me by name. Pretty bold move. Bold and unprecedented. Kaijuro declared. No upper moon has ever approached headquarters so directly. It's obviously a trap, Sanemi growled, his scarred face twisted in a scowl. They're trying to draw him out, probably for another test like Asakusa. Perhaps, Shinobu countered, her perpetual smile unchanged despite the tension. But it may also represent an opportunity to gather intelligence. Upper moons rarely expose themselves so openly. What exactly did this Upper Moon 6 say? Goku asked. According to our scouts, Kagaya explained, she appeared at the northern forest boundary approximately 1 hour ago. She made no attempt to breach our territory, merely announced that she carries an invitation from Lord Musen to the warrior called Son Goku and that she would await a response until midnight. An invitation? Tanjiro repeated, exchanging concerned glances with his companions. More likely a challenge, just stated flatly. Upper Moon 6 may be the lowest ranked of the upper moons, but she and her brother Jotaro have killed numerous Hashira over the centuries. This is not an opponent to underestimate. I say we accept the invitation, Goku said simply. Everyone turned to stare at him. What? We've been talking about taking the initiative, right? This is Musen making a move, let's see what he wants. Walking into an obvious trap seems unwise, Shinobu observed, though her tone suggested she wasn't entirely opposed to the idea. Only if you don't know it's a trap, Goku countered with a confident smile. I've walked into plenty of traps knowing exactly what I was getting into. Sometimes it's the fastest way to get information. He has a point, Sanemi admitted reluctantly. And if things go south, he's demonstrated he can handle himself. Kagaya raised a hand for silence, considering the options. I am inclined to allow this meeting, but with precautions. Son Goku will not go alone, a contingent of Hashira will accompany him to a safe distance. Enough to intervene if necessary, but not so many as to provoke an immediate conflict. I'll go, Kaijuro volunteered immediately. My flame breathing is well suited to combat Upper Moon 6 if required. As will I, Shinobu added. My poison may prove effective if negotiations fail. Count me in, Sanemi growled, a predatory grin spreading across his scarred face. Been itching for a real fight since this interdimensional freak showed up. I'm coming too, Tanjiro stated firmly. Nezuko and I both. Kagaya nodded slowly. Very well. Son Goku, Kaijuro Rengoku, Shinobu Kocho, Sanemi Shinazugawa, and Tanjiro Kamadu will meet with Upper Moon 6. Approach cautiously, hear the message, but be prepared for treachery. If combat becomes necessary. He paused, his blind gaze somehow finding Goku, use your judgment regarding the level of force required. I understand, Goku nodded. I'll try the diplomatic approach first, but I'll be ready if things turn ugly. With the decision made, preparations began immediately. While the Hashira checked their weapons and Tanjiro ensured Nezuko was securely transported, Goku took a moment to center himself. The energy marker inside him had grown more active since the announcement of Upper Moon 6's arrival, presumably reporting his location and status back to Muzan. Interesting timing, Goku murmured to himself. Almost like they were waiting for me to train the others in key techniques before making contact. This realization reinforced his growing impression of Muzan Kibutsuji as a meticulous, calculating opponent, someone who gathered intelligence before acting, who tested defenses before attacking in force. In some ways, he reminded Goku of Frieza, though without the galactic tyrant's raw power. As night fell over the Demon Slayer headquarters, the designated group gathered at the northern gate. Kaijuro's enthusiasm remained undimmed despite the potential danger, while Sanemi practically vibrated with battle-hungry anticipation. Shinobu maintained her serene smile, though her hand never strayed far from her sword hilt. Tanjiro stood resolute, with Nezuko's box securely strapped to his back. Remember, Shinobu advised as they prepared to depart, Upper Moon 6 is known for her deceptive beauty and the fabric manipulation technique that has killed many Hashira. Do not be lured by her appearance or underestimate her speed. Got it, Goku nodded. Pretty but dangerous. Not the first opponent. Something went wrong with this response, please try again. Start the next chapter now. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video.